live.
Hey.
Hey.
Live-ish.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Live adjacent.
Hi. Okay, we all good? We're good. Hello, and welcome to our gathering of would-be heroes. This is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign game full of swords, sorcery, magic, giants, dragons, and all kinds of monsters. As a warning, this is a game that can also explore mature themes, and while we will be specifically avoiding some topics, the game may still include body horror, gore, violence, loss of character agency, gaslighting, mind control, and other topics. Our players have discussed consent and boundaries, and we collectively avoid situations that may be triggering. The players will always let me know if anything gets uncomfortable by using yellow and red cards in our private chat. If you as a viewer ever feel uncomfortable or triggered, please pause and step away. Our streams are available on YouTube after the game, and you can always come back to an episode when you feel ready. So, let's us introduce our, and I'm not even in the game in terms of
Give me one
people,
sec.
starting with
One sec. Hold on.
Recording in progress.
That's what I wanted to do. I'll cut that out later.
Hey.
Son of a. So, all right, are we recording now, or what?
Everybody click leave meeting.
All right.
Yeah, I just want to
Do I got to do that again?
pro tip for everybody at home. If you record the Zoom call, if you accidentally have like the music too loud or too quiet, you can re-edit it when you're later. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Okay, my thing is still loading here because WestJet has a stupidly long ad for no reason. Ta-da, there we go. Now I have a thing in front of me, so I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way back up. Because Steve, for some reason, always wants to go last. I don't know why.
Because
So
I'm
we'll
the
start
producer.
Start with Sarah.
Hey, everybody. I am Sarah. It is so good to be back. I missed you all last week. Happy Extra Life Charity Stream Month, you guys. We are just 2 weeks away from our charity stream. I will be DMing, Jacqueline will be DMing, Steve will be storytelling. Like, we have a bunch of people. So stay tuned for that. More details will be announced. And I play Izamina Lascelles, the cleric of tonight's game. Maybe. If Zev didn't kill me last week. Good times.
And this also tells me just how much of a delay the stream is for my particular computer when I'm having it over here on the side, because when I picked Sarah, she was stuffing her face with popcorn. So, and
it's kettle corn.
Missed it.
So,
but let's move on. I tried to catch it. I couldn't do it. That's fine. It's okay. We can move it. Belle.
Hi, I'm Belle Scher. I'm glad to be playing D&D tonight. And I'm playing Delphia, the Asimar Ranger Rogue. I was seriously sitting at work today being like, gosh, I wish I could play D&D. Oh my gosh, I'm playing D&D tonight.
I know.
Yes.
That's one of the many services I provide.
Thank you.
The other being emotional scarring, but we don't talk about that.
Jazz.
Hello, Jazz, she, her. I'm playing Zanelle, the human monk, also she, her.
Excellent. I'm apparently loading a map. No reason. There we go. Zev.
Hey everyone, I'm Zev. I play Marcos Lascelles, and contrary to popular belief, I did not manage to get myself or Izamina killed last week.
Sure. We believe you too.
undead isn't the same thing as not killed.
Look, as long as you're walking, who cares what state you're in?
I do. I care.
I mean, everyone was quite impressed with Zev's level of charisma and
Yeah.
so let's keep that up. We'll see.
I didn't even know he had those skills. Like,
see
that's
if that
crazy.
lasts. You know, 'cause
Ouch!
it,
Ow!
I mean, now that his nemesis is back, we get to sorry.
They're best
Bestie. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Got you.
Speaking of Jacqueline,
Hi, I'm Jacqueline, she, her, and I'm going to be playing the mysterious Dr. Rosenthal, he, him, our lovely human wizard
Maid.
warlock,
Maid man.
slash the head of the lobster mobsters.
There it is.
No.
No one else likes it.
Belle likes
I
it.
like it.
Yeah.
I like it very
So
much.
you're just gonna have to make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yes.
I'm
Or
just,
they get the
Jeremiah
lobsters.
already
They get
does
the
that.
lobster.
claw.
I'm just
The
saying,
clamps, boss,
if,
the clamps.
if somehow a design happens to end up on a T-shirt with regards to that,
Yeah. 100% would. I would buy one. I would buy
Just
one.
a
So-
I
straight
know
up, a
the
straight up
person who
lobster
helps make them.
in a
so-
suit
yes, and go to our Threadless
With his-
and see all the awesome designs from
claw stuck
Jacqueline.
into his lapel.
Yes.
All right, Steve.
That's me. I am Steve. I am he, him, and playing this gentleman back here, which is Malik Greybeard, the Dragonborn Barbarian, who has a gray beard. Don't ask why. It's probably, it'll probably come up.
Well, I didn't. I'm missing. Oh, I'm not. I just hit it. 'Cause I'm a
Yeah,
dumbass.
see, okay, for everybody watching the feed, see what I mean? Like, this map, the lighting, the dynamic lighting is awesome because it extends off the map. And it's like,
Shh. Quiet you.
we are casting
We are
light into
in
the
it.
void.
Casting light
Breaking
into
the
the
third
void.
wall.
I love that everyone else can see stuff and I can't. So
Let me bring you. You're probably not far enough down. Hold on.
Or yeah, you
Good.
might have to zoom back out.
Sorry, Steve. Sorry. Sorry.
I was like, ah. Oh, wait, nope. There we go.
So I didn't actually finish my write-up this week, so
Ooh,
stupidly
I
busy.
like
don't know.
this.
But anyway, let me
Okay. DM top tips time. You don't tell the players that. You go, this
Yeah.
I am
week,
happy to show people just how the
the
sausage is made.
players are going to tell us what happened last week.
Oh, that's what it is.
Give us an inspiration point.
I will
for
give
a
inspiration
good
if the players
retelling.
can finish it.
It's
so there they were, the lobster mobsters. Their lovely hero, Dr. Rosenthal,
All
with
right.
his
Mhm.
book of reptiles.
That's how I remember it.
When last we left our would-be heroes, they were embroiled in a murder mystery, having discovered a body and nefarious individuals trying to bury it in an old woman's basement. Really a network of catacombs. Pursuit of the villains left the party back above ground, where town guards were alerted, and a magistrate, a priest of Foltus, the god of law and order, was summoned. Deliberate questions and the parties backing each other's stories, showed their innocence, but the magistrate bade them assist in the investigation nonetheless. The murdered woman was identified as Lucia Vorloy, and wow, wouldn't it have been nice to have a representative of, I don't know, an order of clerics devoted to law and the truth there.
I was there. It's okay.
I think he's talking about you, Isa.
It was there. There's video
Nice.
of it. Marcos killed me.
All right. And niece of the Baron. And so the investigation moved to the Baron's estate. Upon arrival, it was revealed that the Baron's home had been ransacked, and the party set to investigating a crime scene where they suspected the murder took place. Some incriminating evidence of the Torrescu family was found and quickly hidden by Dr. Rosenthal, while everyone else set out to follow the leads at the scene of the crime. Marcos and Malik following the lead of some pitch being found on the rungs of a ladder by scouring the waterfront for possible perpetrators, and meeting a dock worker or ship's captain. Anyone remember the name? You can have an inspiration.
I wasn't there, so I didn't write it
Chat?
down.
Connor.
Chat? No one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't go to the docks, so I didn't write it down.
While Zanel and Delphia attempted to track down the occupant of the fake bread shop by following symbols tagged on buildings that were identical to the tattoos on the rogue they defeated, leading them to find both the origin of the bread they purchased, a halfling merchant and serial punster. Come on, you don't appreciate that?
It was the yeast you could do.
Oh, bam! There it is.
I will leave again.
I'll go with
She
you.
won't. She won't.
I will.
He-
I
he
will. I'm
might.
gonna
He
turn
might.
this card around.
The baker's name was Skevlos. I've got that.
Devlo.
Skevlos.
Skexis.
Skexus.
Fuck those guys.
The baker that was renting Toronto's house.
Mm-hmm.
And the actual owner of the building in which they purchased the bread. One. What was his first name?
I wrote down Skevlos. That's what it sounded like to me. So
Skevlos.
Skevlos. Yeah.
Oh, I have that pronounced wrong. Then.
Oh,
What did you
Skevlos
write
is
down,
the guy
Jazz?
that rented
might
it.
be right. Oh.
From
Toronto's-
Toronto.
Toronto,
Yeah.
Toronto.
Oh, Toronto. Yeah.
It's Toronto. It's a
Toronto.
Canadian.
His name is
Actually-
Toronto.
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 Toronto, check.
Oh,
I thought we were Vancouver by night.
Woof.
No.
All right.
woof.
We split the difference. Toronto's halfway between them and
Toronto.
me.
Now,
Yeah,
There
if it
were
was actually
letters.
Toronto, I'd have said Toronto.
now,
Very
So-
important. There were letters
Toronto.
written on the wall.
Axe Hammer. And his wife.
Oh,
What was her name? Anyone?
no. No.
Mrs. Toronto.
Mississauga, I guess.
Wow.
Hamilton.
Ooh.
A local butcher couple with ties to the Toranescu family, as evidenced by his recognition and deference to Dr. Rosenthal's ring when the doctor showed it to him. That's as far as I got with the writing. But I'm pretty sure that's
There were-
pretty much where we ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we were going to the house.
The witch house.
To the house that Toronto owns.
No. I don't think it's a witch house. I think something else was going on at the house.
It's the one where they thought that there was a bake shop there, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because everyone
Yeah.
came to Toronto's house, and we were like, "Oh
We
my
went up
god,
there.
hi!"
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was eating meat. That's all I remember. And Dr.
And then
Rosenthal was there, and then I gave the
Delphia
gold.
and me walked in and found them at the butcher shop. And then we told them what
And-
happened. And we took off
And
running to the
Isamina and I
house.
ran into you guys as you were leaving.
Yes. Yep. Then we were
Ow,
outside.
Artifacts. There it is. Yep.
Good job, babe.
And if you ever actually see this, Matthew Mercer, I now feel you in terms of just how much your players hate your names. So, and we'll.
I you know.
Also, as a storyteller tip, if you accidentally don't
I'm
write down
trying.
the stuff from the previous episode, you can appoint somebody to do it for you. You can be like, "Hey, you're doing it now." Guess what, Zev? You're telling us all what happened last week.
Yeah,
I mean,
I find that to be a bit cheap, but that's okay.
I can.
If
I can
whatever
do it
we-
except for the names.
If whatever we say during recap, is it automatically canon? If so,
Yes.
I will take over this job for you.
I started off with the lobster mobsters.
That has to happen now. Like, it's
Canon
there.
now.
use guys, you wise guys. Yeah, no.
Also, there were initials written on the wall.
Mhm.
Maybe an A, maybe
On the floor.
a B. On the floor
In
or were they on the
blood.
wall? In blood, or was it port?
It was on the floor in blood.
Oh, gross.
It was smeared with fingertips, right?
It was
I
an,
thought
a B or might be an R.
Right, and an O
It was an O.
or a Q, or I don't know.
but the A was definite, right?
Sure,
Was the A?
absolutely.
Is that sarcasm?
No.
I
I've never heard
No.
Mike be sarcastic. That's crazy.
No.
What?
Never.
What?
How
No.
dare?
No.
How dare?
Wow. Wow. So,
I don't know.
Mighty Nine. No, just kidding.
Lobster mobsters.
Can't say that. We are royalties
Lobster
now.
mobsters.
Shh, do you want to get sued?
Ooh, I like that.
Do you
babe.
want to get sued? Ah, it's the shinning.
I think we should call ourselves Jeremiah's eyes because it's the same motion. Just saying.
Mm-mm.
Blink, 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 blink.
Art
Zeb.
just said in the chat.
I was like, I
"Careful,
woke up
lobster
early for this?
monsters,
What the
you might
hell?"
Get pinched.
No, I'm just going. I've been awake for 24 hours for this.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So you are doing what? You're heading to the guest house? Is that what you said?
I believe so.
Apparently.
Yeah, the dwarf was leading us there because he wanted to see.
Right.
This
Okay.
carvings on
He
his
was
outside.
upset.
They're tagging the place. Disrespect.
Mm.
So you guys are then basically led through the streets because he's sort of a little concerned about his rental place being whatever or being used for any kind of nefarious purpose. Walks you through the streets to the location. You see the bread vendor packing up his cart, and Toronto leads you to the door, and he pulls out this roll of keys or this ring of keys and flips through them, sort of thing. Tries one, no, it's not it, and tries another one. Click, opens the door, and the door opens to a relatively sparse and unassuming room.
Right.
Yeah.
Insight check the room.
Yes.
Is-
Insight check
is
the room.
I've missed a week. I don't know what's going on.
Is the bloody handprint still on the door frame?
Yes.
Well,
Are-
I
are
point that
there
out
stairs?
to Mr. Axehammer.
Huh.
See, they came up from down below. I mentioned the big the basement that's not like just a basement, it's tunnels, and they came up through there. And
Show me that.
okay, I go over to the door.
Stump. It's like, oh yeah, that's just the cellar. We that's a standard. You're telling me that there's tunnels.
Yes.
Can I stay outside on the opposite street, like on the opposite side of the road, and keep
Absolutely.
watch?
Yep. Give me a perception check.
Absolutely.
Smart.
Ooh, perception 21,
Dang. Okay.
19.
You hear, you don't see any. What are you looking for exactly, or what are you sort of just getting a lay of?
Any like any person looking suspicious or like eyeing the building or anything like that?
You don't see anybody doing anything clandestine in that sense. You don't see anybody like peeking around a corner, or you don't think you were followed or anything like that. But something that does kind of catch your ear, the occasional person walking past, like a bustling a matron talking to a younger woman, the thing. I've heard poor, what was her name? Sorry.
I'm gonna say like Rosalie or something.
I keep
I know I'm
losing
totally
my
wrong.
page.
Lucia?
Lucia. That poor Lucia. I heard it was the Tornescu. He was rejected by her. I heard it. And he just couldn't take no, and he killed her. And it seems to be, you're hearing not one, but at least 4 different sort of groups of people sort of muttering something along the lines of Tornescu killed Lucia, essentially.
Uh-oh.
So word is spreading. Such as it is.
This isn't good. All right, I'll stay out there and just keep watch. I don't go in with them.
Okay. What is everyone else doing?
I'm gonna stay outside with the mighty one.
Cool.
Your sausages.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I'm just munching on sausages.
There's a staircase up. I want to go upstairs.
Sure. You can follow it's a sort of a basic wooden staircase that leads up to basically almost like a loft bed or a bedroom, essentially.
Okay. I'm gonna toss it. I'm looking for any sign that it's been used, anything that might have been left behind.
Upstairs there is a bed and sort of a night table / desk sitting next to it.
Okay. Are there any
The bed
drawers?
looks like it was slept in recently. Give me an investigation check.
Okay.
I'll go with Marcos,
Cool.
obviously, because now I'm his zombie thrall. I'll help him search if you want to take advantage.
Advantage.
If you'll give him advantage, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can beat a 13. I can. That's a 15.
Hey,
Excellent. A 15 gets you a little bit more than I was going to give you. Okay. Let's see. There's sort of random papers that nothing seems to make any sense. Specifically, there's nothing, a lot of, like, there's half-written notes that don't seem to make a lot of anything, sort of scribbles. On the desk is a near empty bottle containing a thick brownish sweet smelling liquid. There's no label on the bottle, but near the top is the remains of a wax seal. Let's see. And inside the desk, a black leather hood.
Like what
Like
kind
a-
of black
like
leather
a
hood?
gimp mask.
Or essentially a
Steve,
Yeah.
you were thinking it too.
disguise your
I was.
identity.
Sure was.
There's no zippers
Oh.
back then. Come on now.
Come on.
Oh, like a
I mean,
domino mask.
A gimp mask would mask your identity.
I mean, yes.
I know.
That's
right?
literally one of its purposes. Just
Marcos
saying.
would reach in and pick up the
It's a gimp
mask
mask.
between two fingers and just show it to Izamina.
Yes.
Why?
Somehow we went from Goodfellas to Eyes Wide Shut. I don't know how.
This
or
is-
why.
This is not what I meant by zombie thrall. Go
And,
ahead.
So
I mean,
someone left a piece of their outfit behind.
As you do, as you pick it up, and you both sort of notice a couple of strands of red hair.
Ooh.
Okay, that's good. That's interesting.
What is interesting about that?
Red hair. keeps
The
popping
murder
up,
victim was found with red hair under her fingernails.
and there was red hair at in the house.
I don't.
And Rosenthrall has red hair.
Yes.
Bum, bum, bum. Oh, wow, wow. What?
Rosenthrall's the gimp. That is next week's ad. I'm going to make it right now.
No, I have brown hair, but I appreciate it.
We haven't seen you without hair dye. How do we
You
speak
haven't.
about dyeing your hair?
Yeah, that's
Wait.
true. And you haven't known
Um,
me long enough.
Do we?
So
Do the rest of us know? Like, I thought somebody hid the red hair at the one house.
No, Rosenthal hit the ring.
ring.
Oh, the ring. Okay.
Yeah.
So we know about the red hair everywhere.
You know about the red hair.
But weren't we like? Wasn't it like some guy who had brown hair? That was like being accused, but we find like red hair everywhere type thing.
isn't Rosenthrall's uncle have red hair?
No.
Yes. No.
He has
no,
brown hair.
we have all brown hair.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm
because we
just
keep
erasing
finding.
my notes.
Jacqueline has red hair. Everything I play has brown hair.
Yeah, because we keep finding red hair everywhere, but we, like, whoever they're like throwing all these rumors around about and saying like he went for her and she turned him down and he flew into a rage or whatever. He has brown hair,
Correct.
but we keep finding red hair everywhere. So it's clearly not the person behind door number 1.
Right.
Maybe.
You must
We
have
could just-
known that
But
I
we
wouldn't
could
drink
go
the
after
poison.
door number 1 just for convenience.
Monty, tell him what he's won.
And as you are basically rolling turning the room over. So what you weren't going to get this, but you got a 15. So you find under the mattress of the bed, sort of in a little bit of a rip, tucked into the mattress itself, but on the bottom, a roll of parchment.
I'm going to unroll it.
It looks like a map of the city, maybe.
Do I?
Bunch of buildings.
Are any of them? Do any of them have special marks? Is there any coded language that's on them?
Is it a
I
map
pull out
to
my
all
Scholastic Book Fair blacklight pen and like hold it up.
Is it a map to all the lobster restaurants in this particular city?
And little lobster stamps on all the little buildings? No.
What I'm wondering is if this isn't a map of the city itself. I wonder if this might be a map of what's under the city.
No, it's a map of the city, right?
I don't know. If only there was someone there that could tell you if there was a map of the city or not.
We're on the second floor of the.
Yes, but
Can't
do
we
you
look
trust
out
the
and see
doctor?
That's fine.
Hey.
Of course, I trust the doctor. Of
The
course, I
doctor's
do.
a suspect. Everyone in this town is a suspect.
I'm not a suspect. You're not a suspect. The
True.
people that we came with are not suspects.
Except for the doctor. But
That
yes.
sounds like
The
something a
doctor's-
suspect would say.
The doctor came with us. The doctor couldn't be a. If anything, I'm more of a suspect than the doctor because I
she
came by
admits it.
myself. And I've got red hair.
And she admits it.
Facts. Oh, facts.
We'll revisit that.
It's like favoritism coming in.
Mike,
here.
Don't lose it now
Just
that
out of
she's back for sure.
curiosity, Mike, just out of curiosity, it's not like my color of red hair.
Give me a
Oh shit.
Where's
Please
my
roll
color
low.
of red
Yes.
hair?
Please roll a
Delphia
natural
had-
one.
Give it a
Delphia has
medicine
red hair
check.
too.
It's hard to tell. It's kind of dim lighting. The sun's going down. You kind of
That's
try to
not
stare
great.
at two
It's
strands
a-
of hair in the dark.
It's a 13.
I mean, maybe it's different. Maybe. But that's kind of the same. I mean, they're shining the same. I don't know, maybe.
Oh.
No.
No.
Well,
Okay.
let's show the others what we
Freaked me
found.
out there for a minute, man. I thought this was DM payback from what I do to you on Sundays. I'm happy. Okay.
No, that's
very
coming.
good.
That's coming.
I'm sure that it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna hate-
So, Marcos, we should take this down. The doctor knows this town. The doctor grew up here. The doctor is trustworthy. And
agree.
I'll be able to tell if he's not.
True.
You've got them
And if
eating
he's
out of your
not, I'll
hand,
be able
dog.
to beat him out of it. So
You
I like
know
this
that
plan.
I've never stood between you and justice when it's needed.
And I appreciate that. Let's see what the good doctor has to say about this map.
While they're upstairs, I want to
Mhm.
be casting detect magic as a ritual
Okay.
because I'm going
I'll
to
let that
assume
happen,
that
yep.
they take some time while they're upstairs. So, is there anything?
You in the immediate vicinity? No.
Okay.
So you guys are checking the upstairs. Malik and Zanel are outside. What is Delphi doing?
I am, I'm with Mr. Axehammer, and if he wants to, I will show him.
Oh, the hatch. Yep.
Right. Yes, and going downstairs and where the tunnels start.
So he
So
does a
I'll-
wander about a little bit.
Right.
And he sort of wanders like, and he starts cursing. And half of it's in Dwarvish, and he's muttering and sort of under a certain level of shock, I guess, that someone's basically tunneled under his basement,
Right.
and into his cellar.
So
That's
I
my
take it
new.
this wasn't here before.
I didn't know about it.
That's my new headcanon. That now Dwarven swearing is just like Yosemite Sam. Like, God,
And they're all like red faced. No. Rootin' tootin' something. Give me a what is your passive perception? Your passive perception is 13, right?
It's passive perception is 19.
Oh, 19. Oh, that's right. Yeah, your sudden increase in a significant amount of skill. Your passive perception, out of the corner of your eye, as you're down there and you're sort of walking around, but you didn't come down this way. And so now you have somebody else down there, you're paying attention to him, and he's sort of like stalking up and down the room sort of thing, and going down this way and muttering around the corner and coming back and does this way. And as you follow him, your eye kind of tracks him, but then stays at a certain small pile of rags.
Okay.
That seem to be sort of, they're almost like tucked into almost like a little crevice in sort of like a corner at the bottom corner of the room, such as it is. And they're almost unnoticeable, except for people with stupidly high perception. And the rags, if you check them,
yes,
they're covered in blood.
Okay.
I mean, it's dried-ish.
Are they pieces of full clothing, or is it just like ripped up cloth, or?
They are bandages.
Oh.
Like they're thinner strips. They're gauzy, almost. I mean, quite thin strips of cotton, sort of thing.
So maybe he's down here. Can I look for footprints?
Give me a survival check. I'm gonna make you take this one at disadvantage because you literally watched a guy walking all over your crime scene.
Yeah, that's true.
And you guys came through here yourselves.
Oh, shoot. That's not great. Survival, right? That's a 9.
9?
Yeah, no, there's nothing at this point, especially with Toronto walking back and forth through the thing.
Man.
There's no way to really tell if anybody's gone through here recently, but you do notice though that there's very few tracks to and from this little pile of bandage. There's literally something there. You imagine, if you can sort of play the scene over in your head, CSI style, he basically, whatever he did with the bandages, stuffed them into the hole, turned around, and walked straight back to, I guess, in the direction of where you came in.
Yeah. Okay. Do they look like somewhat fresh blood? Like, can I tell if it's blood from today or
Yeah,
like
medicine check.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's terrible. Oh no, that's actually great. That's a 21.
Boop. Not today, because you can. There's some drying, so it's not completely. But there was enough blood that not all of it dried, so it sort of dries from the outside and dries in as the thicker bits eventually lose their fluid to the air. They coagulate. So there is a little bit of wetness still into the center of the mass.
Okay.
Still just blood. There's no body parts or no fancy,
Okay.
Whatever. It's not a head or anything. But
whoever wore them is probably long gone.
whoever wore them is gone.
Yeah.
And it's recent, so
Okay.
within a day.
I shift the rags around to see if there's anything else.
Give me an
It's just
investigation check.
bloody rags. Oh, okay. Gosh, I'm rolling. Oh, that's a natural 20.
Nice. I got that one out of the way. There is nothing.
Damn it.
This
Mike, you're killing me. Okay, go to someone else. I can't.
Oh, I can't. Ah. No. No, you definitely
Still counts for statistics.
It still counts. Still works. No. I'll make it up to you.
Okay.
Guys, anybody else know what the phase of the moon is? Chat? Anyone? No.
Oh God. It's
Are we still in the
Weenie
waning?
Gibbous.
Still the waning gibbous? Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. So back upstairs. You guys take the map down to Rosenthal.
Doc, do you mind taking a look at this thing we found?
Yeah, sure.
You'll hear muttering from downstairs. Dwarven, he's swearing.
I'm going to ignore the muttering and just hand the map over to the doctor.
Doctor, give me a history check.
Oh, I can do that. All right. Ooh, that's a +7 to this roll. That's an 11.
Excellent. Well done. You and your +7. You go.
Did my best.
The map itself, it looks like there's streets and there's it looks like basically a top-down city map, more or less. It's not the best quality, but the streets are pretty much direction, and you're thinking, all right, well, okay, if I turn that, oh wait, there's the river, so if I turn it this way, and a number of the buildings are marked. And you sort of take a minute and you're sort of triangulating and you're trying to figure, all right, well, we just turned around this way and this is this, so this house is here. And you figure out that this very house, or at least you figure this is probably one of the X's on the map, is the house that you're actually in. And there are 4 other places.
Do I recognize them, or I just notice the marks? Like, do they feel familiar to me? Like, maybe I'm like getting like I kind of know where they are, but maybe.
Give me a straight intelligence roll.
Okay.
Getting a suspicion.
Because you don't really know
this
many of the other individuals.
That's a 14.
14. One of them might be familiar. You're pretty sure there's one that's sort of up and away of closer to a certain other section of town. You're pretty sure it's the Rattlebone Inn.
Okay.
But the other 3 you're not quite sure about.
Okay. I'll stare at the map for a while, like running my finger along it, trying to like orient myself. And then I'll kind of show it towards Marcos and be like, okay, this is where we are. And I'll show the one mark. And I'll mention there's 3 others here that are marked, but I'm not quite sure who they belong to. But I know that this one over here is the Rattlebone Inn. Is that what you said?
You know what? I think I know what this is. I have a feeling I know what this map is.
Should we go to these places?
If our target isn't here, they're at one of these other 3 locations. That's what I suspect. We need to get Delphia up here, and we need to get the others. We have to figure out the best way to go about this. I have my preference, but we should all be in agreement. Doctor, would you mind poking your head out and calling Zanella and Malik in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. And I'm gonna go into the storeroom and call down into the basement.
And
Okay, coming up.
you leave the rags there.
Yeah, but I say like I found a pile of bloody rags down there. They look kind of fresh.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Well, it's
Down
not
there?
nothing.
That's
It's
literally
not
the DM didn't give me anything else despite my planning.
There, I
Implant.
I might have been able to see footprints, but Mr. Axehammer's a little upset that there's a tunnel system underneath.
Stomp,
his,
stomp, stomp up the ladder. Ugh.
I too would be very upset, Mr. Axehammer, if I found tunnels underneath my abode.
They're not even well done, Tug.
They're not even well done.
That's the worst part. It's a sloppy job.
Disrespect is so high.
If
Okay,
you're gonna
everyone.
dig tunnels under my house, at least make it a good tunnel.
You would know. I'm certain of it. That's not yeah.
Mm.
I would value your judgment on what a good tunnel would be. I have not seen many tunnels, so
when everyone comes in, I'm going to put the map on the counter and kind of lay it out as flat as I can get it. Okay, so
So we get called in?
Yeah.
yes, you guys got called in.
I mean,
What is this?
what's going on?
According to the doctor, this map is a map of the city. This, I'm going to tap the location that Dr. Rosenthal had pointed out as where we are. This is us right now.
Okay.
This other location is an inn.
Okay.
I suspect that our target, since they are not here, is at one of these other three locations.
Okay.
Which means we can get them.
We are looking for a guy that should probably still have a pretty serious wound. I did give someone a pretty bad wound and they ran away. So he's out there somewhere too.
Yes, but we can't assume that they're the same person.
Right.
The person who was operating out of here might just be a facilitator. Now, I think there's a couple ways we can do this. Specifically, there's three ways. One of them is a very bad idea.
I like the bad idea.
The bad idea is we go, oh, okay. The bad idea is we go as a complete group to each of these other three locations in order, one at a time.
Okay.
That's a very
Are
bad
we
idea.
Split up?
That's idea number two. We split up in teams, and each team hits a different location.
I mean,
Option three.
I mean, there's a good way of doing that without us getting split up.
Well, option three, and I think this might be what you were about to suggest, is we bring in your family.
I mean,
We
my
hit one
uncle should be
location
showing
and we
up.
have them surveil and watch the other two. Why not? How is it any worse of an idea than us going to one at a time?
I think the only
Because-
problem.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think the only problem is my uncle is the suspect here, and if
Oh.
his family is going around to these places, I might get
The
even more
urchins.
suspicious.
He's
Yeah.
the talk of the town. Like 18 people walked past us talking about it. It was like 4
So
people,
all we've
but
got to work with is, well,
It's
no,
true, I was there.
not entirely. We do have another asset. We do have someone else we can draw on. Mike, question for you. In as a player, I know that a lot of churches and temples in D&D settings maintain their own body of guards and soldiers within the faith. Would Marcos have any idea if the god of justice and light maintains that kind of contingent of armed protectors of the faith at his temples?
Here in this city?
Here in this city, but also kind of generally.
Give me a religion check.
Okay. Hey,
Oh my God.
that's an 8.
I mean, maybe. Seems like a good idea.
Religion check?
Probably should. You're thinking. Yeah. You should
So-
totally instigate that. Maybe you should start it.
I think
If they don't, I think I will.
I think it's probably not an inaccurate guess that our good friend, the Magister, has some men at arms at his call. They're not
Oh
connected.
yeah, no, I thought you were
with-
talking about the your god, the vengeance god, and I'm like, why would
No,
he have
no,
men
no.
at arms?
Vathris is
really-
Vathris is not
Yeah, no.
active.
It's a
here.
good it's a pretty decent assumption that the magistrate working as the voice of the god of law and order would have connection through the city guard of the city watch of some kind.
Okay.
You know, you got law and you got law enforcement.
Yeah. So I have another idea. And Izamina, I think you'll like this one a little better. We bring in the magistrate. Because the magistrate
Why did you think I would like that any better?
because he's not a member of Rosenthal's family. And he can give us potentially men at arms so that we can hit all 3 locations at the same time, giving whoever's there no time to be warned and escape.
can I just ask a question of the group? Why are we being detectives in this?
Because apparently we were asked to when someone decided to volunteer to help this city instead of doing what I suggested from the beginning, which was let
Fuck
them
outta
solve
here.
their own problems and leave.
We volunteered to help Rosenthal's
Yeah,
Rosenthal's
that was a
family.
separate matter.
Why are we
Is it
investigating
really?
the
Because
murder
at
when
this
we did
point
what we
in
were supposed
time,
to do?
At this point in time, it seems that we, as a group, have decided
the gem.
that part of helping Rosenthal's family is clearing Rosenthal's family from
Go.
being smeared for a crime that they didn't actually commit.
I feel like I was not involved in this meeting. Was that when I was standing outside?
I feel like this was one of those things where some of us who were more invested in the community and going to kind of glance over at Dr. Rosenthal and at Izamina decided that local issues not pertaining to, well, that's not important. The local issues were of greater significance than the longer journey.
Doctor,
Yeah.
Is that what you want from us?
I didn't know there was I didn't even know my uncle was involved with this woman. Like this has absolutely, gone off the cuff, but we're also in the center of this investigation. Like we found the body. I mean,
And we delivered the body to the people we were supposed to deliver it to.
Right.
And then
And
the
we
magister
told them
asked us to
everything we
help.
knew.
Maybe the best thing for us to do is just find my uncle and go talk to him.
I love that idea.
Ooh.
Can I
He's
ask you?
supposed to
Yeah.
be coming. I
And your
called on
uncle is
him.
a serial liar. I love this idea. I don't
He
love this
hasn't
idea.
lied to
How
us.
do you know he's a liar?
He smells funny.
Well, that's
You
rude.
smell
'cause
funny,
you smell
but that's
funny
Lots of
sometimes
fish
too.
too.
Yeah, it's fine. He hasn't lied to us as far as I can tell, and he told you the truth about his business, which is more than I knew about the business. So
Doctor, do you think your uncle did this murder?
it feels funny. I mean, I didn't know about the woman, but like, he's never went off the. He's not, he's not a hothead. He doesn't. He's very meticulous and calculated, and I don't think he could murder. He also randomly disappeared. So, I mean, I don't.
He might not have murdered with his own hands, but I doubt he's above commissioning murders.
You've murdered with your own hands, though.
That's my job.
Might have been his
Isn't
job
that
too.
his job too, though? What makes your murders better than his?
I don't hurt the innocent.
Yeah, but if other people are also doing the other crime, then they're not innocent either. That was part of why I agreed to take this on, was this is multiple families who are embroiled in this, but it has never turned to this level of violence before. Getting involved saves things from escalating further, which is in the public interest.
I got the consequences of their bullshit.
Well, true. However, if it captures up the innocent in it, then being a little preventative here, I think is the best course of our action.
Prevention really isn't within the purview of...
Correct. You know what? We have already had this conversation. You asked why we got involved. This is why we got involved. So moving forward from here, I don't think splitting us up is the right idea. I think potentially asking the magistrate for some support maybe is good, but we don't know what their interest is in this. And as we all, well, some of us well know, local government can also be corrupt and maybe receiving kickbacks, or we don't know what their connections are to other families in small towns like this. Everybody's related. So I think we go and we just take a quick glance at each of the places. And then if we need to do further investigation, then we go from there. But something might just pop up as being suspicious as fuck.
Here's why I don't like the going one at a time. If our target isn't operating alone, and I believe it's a safe bet that they're not, and they have an associate at one of those locations. We've had a track record of not doing great with sneaky people.
Ooh.
What?
We've been ambushed several times in tunnels, and I've gotten stabbed multiple times in the back when no one should have been able to get to my back. So I'm a little paranoid around sneaky bastards. I'm just saying, look.
Is this a democracy? Who wants to go talk to my uncle? And Rosenthal raises his hand.
Also, I'm just going to lean in and whisper, because I'm not saying this to start a fight or to get anybody else involved. This is literally a friend talking to a friend. I'm just going to lean into Marcos and go, by your logic, we should be suspicious of each other. And her hand is just going to go to where her scar is still mending. And she's going to go, we can get ambushed by a lot of different people, darling. And we don't need to go there. Let's do what we're agreed to do, and then let's move on. Gorna awaits.
Gives you a look that is just like, it's the unwritten low blow look that's just like, ow. Okay.
And
shady in this town.
With a passive insight of 40 or whatever my passive insight is, I'm gonna give him this like Like, I don't understand why you're upset about that. There are facts and there is truth. That is what we deal in, my friend. Let's move on. I'm not trying to throw shade. There's facts. And I've stood by your side.
And yet shade has been thrown like I'm standing under a redwood tree.
Well, then
Maybe
you
in a
should move
forest.
out into the light, bud, because I'm not diminishing myself. Let's
But
go.
I do my best work in the shadows.
Then stay behind me.
Also-
Let's go.
No, are we supposed to wait for the doctor's uncle?
No, aren't we going to meet the doctor's uncle?
Yes.
I mean, we
At
have to
this
go back
point-
to the dwarf's house.
At this point, I thought we were just hitting all the. Okay.
I wait till
Be
somebody
right-
leads out to the house, and then I'll follow behind them.
I'm gonna turn to what is his name? Toronto. Toronto.
Yeah.
Tirana.
Tirana, and
Tirana.
just ask him.
Turano, Turano.
Tirana.
Oh, I
That's what
spelled
we
it
said.
wrong
Okay.
too.
So
Turano.
it's like a Torino.
You gotta
Tirana.
spell it. You gotta
Torino with
spell
a
it.
U.
Tofino.
I'm gonna
Ano.
I'm gonna ask him. Is it okay if we just hang out in your house for a little bit while we
Oh
wait
yeah,
for my uncle?
absolutely. It's fine.
Okay, excellent. And then Rosenthal's just gonna walk that direction. Just like keeping like a lookout on the road as he's looking around for like
Pass.
anything that looks like.
I'm going to. Marcos will walk out, and having made his point about sneaky bastards and getting stabbed in the back, and having had a solar system's worth of shade thrown at him about it, his head's going to be on a swivel, looking out for sneaky bastards.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
I go behind Marcos just because he made that comment, and I want him to feel at ease a little. So I'm behind.
You
him.
stand
So
right behind him.
I stand right behind him,
Right,
like
just
it's like
right on his
this close,
just,
you
like,
know.
just right there.
Be
Every
like,
now
I
and
got
then
your
you
back.
poke him just to make sure he knows you're there.
It's okay. We're good.
Yeah, I'm like humming in the back too, to like it's like
I
distracting him.
blame the monk. That's a natural one.
Ooh, whistling.
Nice. So yeah, you're doing a very effective job at letting him know you're there.
Hey,
And letting him know that you got his back. You're right there. You're looking out for his six. And Marcos, you're kind of like looking for enemies everywhere, and you get a jab in the back from Zanel. Hey,
hey,
you're
Trying
looking-
to focus.
and you thought you saw something, and then she jabs you on the other side. Hey, I'm over here too.
I'm doing it to like a
Yes,
beat and
yourself.
everything, like basically dancing behind you
She's like
and
doing this
using
little
your
sort of-
armor as like my drums.
I'm just gonna keep like trying to quick step away from you. Just like no.
No,
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I
but-
didn't mean to.
but she's a monk and she moves faster than you, so she's literally, no matter where you move, she's literally behind you. Anyway,
There
yeah.
might be smoke starting to come out of my ears.
Are you okay? That's
Malik's like, I thought
Huh.
only I could do that.
Yeah, like
Out of his ears. Impressive.
are your ancestors gonna show up too?
Excellent.
That'd be great.
ancestral party.
My Zoom seems to be terrible right now. Everybody make me a perception check.
Do I get to make another one?
Sure.
Ooh,
Thank you.
5.
Please. That's what you get.
That's fair though. I'm having fun in the back.
Yeah,
I'm protecting
23.
you.
you're only watching the
17.
6. Okay,
19.
16.
Yeah. there it is.
Take that, you distracting monkey bastard.
But no one's going to stab you in the back.
Nope.
I got you.
Nope. You got his 6. Everything
Yeah.
else.
Only because I've got the most annoying person on the planet
You
covering my
You'll notice some groups of people moving. You're sort of looking around as you're walking down this particular half street or whatever. You see a couple of group of people walking on the next street, but they're all moving in the same direction, and they're moving towards seemingly almost a central point. And up ahead, nearing you, you're hearing a louder and louder din of voices.
Question.
Yeah.
Were any of the people in the crowds that we spotted, or that in my case I spotted, carrying anything that looked like a weapon or looked
Torch
like
or a
it could be
pitchfork,
used?
perhaps? No.
I'm looking for people with
torches.
red. I'm looking for people with red hair.
Cool.
Guys,
cool.
I have a feeling something's.
Can we make
Alright.
out what they're saying?
What do I give for this one?
I have a feeling that this is going to be like a Robin Hood Men in Tights situation.
Yeah, perception check with disadvantage.
Zanelle's going to be like, hey, you just got stabbed twice.
Watch out, some guy's hitting you from behind.
It was a 2 both times for a
Like,
3.
reflex.
Well done.
Killing
Mumbles, a lot
this.
of mumbles, a lot of incoherent. Zanelle and Marco seem to be having some kind of conversation or thing going on over there. Zanelle's drumming on his armor.
I dropped my sword. Oh shit! Hold on.
Clang, clang, trip it between him, and he trips. And clang, clang, clang. No, sorry, man. Yeah, no, you don't really hear
I'm
much.
gonna ask
Marcos picks up the
Delphia.
sword. This is mine now.
I'm gonna ask Delphia if she can hear what they're saying up ahead.
I rolled a 23.
Yeah.
So
You a lot of the same stuff. You hear Toranescu a number of times. You hear lovers, killer. You hear Lucia, poor
rumor
girl.
mills.
You generally get the same sense where they're muttering and muttering and muttering, and the rumor is spreading like wildfire.
Is it building? Is it developing?
And it
into
sounds.
something
And you
worse
hear
than it
this
already
too,
is?
Izamina. And anybody who got basically I think it was a 19.
Me.
Give me insight checks.
Oh,
Hey,
Yeah.
I have a
I mean,
bad feeling about this.
my passive is 20.
Delphia,
passive
I
is
rolled-
20?
read people well.
Yeah, my passive insight is 20.
Yeah, that's a nope.
It's angry. It's not scuttlebutt. It's not gossip and rumor anymore. It has an edge to it, and it's definitely not happy.
No.
Why?
You
What
come
do you
up
think?
to, and this is where we're going to switch to the map, and where you have it here on the screen.
The map.
You come up to basically a crowd of people.
Oh no, it's not good.
Oh,
Fine.
fuck.
We're
And
great.
up ahead,
Gross.
further on up, you can see a group of guards, city guards.
Mhm, mhm.
Actually, let me just double check something. Oh, that's fine. Hold on.
Steve, while he's double checking, I threw an ad in the Discord for next week.
The hell? Stand by.
Oh, hell.
It's the lower left corner is where the fun times are.
No.
No, on my ad for next week. You're welcome, Jazz.
So we were all thinking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see stuff now.
Yeah.
Seeing is overrated. There's just
Mhm.
people and they're angry. We've seen enough of that.
We hang out
Oh,
with enough
boy.
of that.
Are
Hey.
their backs to us, Mike?
Most of
Like,
them
are they
yeah.
moving away from us towards the guards?
Yes. They're sort of just
Alright.
they're kind of amassed, and they're yelling kind of at the guards, I guess.
Yep.
There's
right.
an
Okay.
awfully suspicious looking redhead on those crates. Does he have red hair?
There are a number of people in the crowd with red hair.
Damn. Number of people.
All right, so we just
Go
hit
around.
zone of truth on everybody, and we just asked them a question.
Oh boy.
Oh,
I
go
was
around
I was
poking people in the
just
belly.
looking at that. Zone of truth is not concentration and it lasts 10 minutes, but it's only a 15-foot sphere I can throw at 60 feet. So if I cast 2, I could get like 30 feet
I
across,
think
which would
this
be
is
almost
neither
everybody.
the time or the place to cast that spell
Mike, what music would that be?
because these people are not interested
That's
in talking
the
or
yeah.
answering
We're
your
going to the
question.
riot.
No, I mean, like,
Ooh.
what's it called in Sirenscape?
Uh,
By the way, check out
is
Sirenscape. It's awesome.
Protest.
Hey,
It's in the DD, the auction,
DD.
and it's called Protest.
This better.
It's not
I
really
will
music.
say,
Sorry.
listening
ambiance.
with the sounds from catching up from the week that I missed was a special treat, and it is good stuff.
Man,
For
I'm
the
jealous.
DD, it has Assault from the Dark or During the Auction.
The auction.
Sirenscape needs a feature where any of the players can log in and hear it as well.
I thought
It sort of
I
has
should be
that,
able to.
but we haven't been able to figure it out.
Right. Sirenscape,
Everybody-
could you get a hold of Steve Twitch at Van City by Night? Yeah, thanks.
Or anybody else knows. I will
This
give
is-
inspiration.
You just
This
gotta
is
hit that
not
little button
good.
in the corner. That's it.
So what's going on? What are we doing?
Well,
We're gonna
You
zone of
basically
truth
come across
everybody.
a crowd.
I'm waiting for him to explain to me what's going on.
Right.
You've come across a crowd, and they're angry. You can hear now voices separate in the din. The Tornescu murder, the standard thing. And there's a man or someone, an orator, male-sounding voice further up the crowd, and he's yelling, "I tell you, these Tornescu are dangerous. Did they care for you? Did they care for the safety of us common people? No. Who declares the taxes? Who steals food from your children's mouths to fatten themselves in luxury?" And the crowd is, "Rah, yeah, rah, rah," and they're sort of angrily building up a crescendo, shouting cries of agreement. Lots of them are raising their fists in anger and shaking them in the air. The voices are growing in number as the orator keeps talking.
oh boy. So
And you can hear basically
I have a
the
suggestion.
guards ahead are basically like, "Please, people, please, we're trying to, there's no need for this level of," and then someone in the crowd somewhere, all you see is basically a bottle
Oh
flies
no.
out of the crowd somewhere, hits a guard, breaks on his helmet, and he goes down. And the
Oh,
crowd
no.
seems to be emboldened by this somehow,
No.
and they charge at the guards.
Oh boy.
Everyone roll initiative. And we're switching to protest battle.
Oh boy.
I'm so like conflicted on whose side I'm on.
I know.
Oh hey, that's
I'm
a
sorry.
3.
I got 21.
Hey.
Where is my...
So what we need to do is kill the orator.
I mean...
No. You literally just 2 minutes ago were talking about not killing innocent people, not
That was
having
a
innocent
joke.
blood on your hand.
That
Yeah.
was a
It was a
joke.
That was a
joke
joke.
about not killing innocent people. Not killing innocent people was a joke.
Killing the orator was a joke. Let's just knock him out or something so we stop rounding these people up.
You know what I'm missing? Is
They're just upset that they feel like things are being stolen from them.
Yes.
Did the bottle come
And
from
they're
the
in
same,
our way.
same where did the bottle come from?
Somewhere over here.
Oh, okay. And which guy is the orator? Okay. Thank you. I got a 7 for initiative.
I got a 9.
You want me to track it on the screen so that everybody knows?
Yes, please.
And Marcus got a 5.
Zanelle, what'd you get?
21.
21. Doc,
Rolled
what'd
an
you get?
18.
9.
Where actually is that? I could not pull that up out of my little tracker here.
It is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 down. It's like a clock.
It's a clock. Oh, okay.
It's a clock. It's a clock.
Oh. There you go, everyone. It's the clock.
Malik, what'd you get?
10 again. I'm really good
And
at rolling
Delphia
10
7.
for initiative.
Yeah, I put mine in.
And Isamina got
A 4.
Oh no.
Although I hate going first.
You guys are going well. So Zanelle.
Can I trade my initiative one last
First
time?
round.
I won't
you want
ask
to delay and go with everyone else?
No, it's fine. I'll go. All right. I'm going to just walk into
Stab
the
Marcos.
crowd.
Then run into the crowd.
Crowd at this point is considered rough terrain because there's a lot of people, so you're moving at half speed.
Okay.
Half speed
There's not-
for Zanelle is like regular speed for the rest of us.
20.
I was gonna say, there's not a key point for
Step of
move,
the
bitch,
wind.
get out the way.
Okay, so 20.
I figure there's a monk skill where it's like you spend a key point and then you like
I mean,
jump
you could
on everybody
leap and
else's heads across the crowd.
punch the ground and do like a thunder wave or something and knock everyone down.
Oh,
Nah, I'm not bringing violence to
Ah,
anybody.
That
That's
might
a-
be good.
That's
You
a
think about
Sunday
that for a
game.
second.
Yeah, that's a Sunday game thing.
When
That's a
So-
Sunday game thing.
is this
Works
the
okay there.
this person right here? Is that the start of the crowd right there?
Yep.
Like where exactly? Okay, so 20 feet. I'll stay right here. Can I look out and see if I see any more like bottles that can be
Oh, yeah.
thrown in people's hands?
These people
And
are
if-
throwing fruit.
Looking for
they're
more of the
throwing,
destruction
like,
stuff.
Small
Yeah.
vials of something.
Okay.
Another wine bottle.
Can I try to
Box.
like take the bottles out of people's hands? Like the most dangerous things that they can throw at them, I want to like try to snatch it out their hands. And I would
Okay,
like
all right.
a point to be added that I do not have my sword, as Marcos took it from me when I dropped it, so I have
Yep.
no weapon on me.
It's mine now.
Fair.
Just so everyone.
So
You tried to trick
ironically,
me with it.
if
It's
you're
mine now.
arrested, you won't be arrested for weapon possession because you don't have
Exactly.
your sword.
I'm good over here.
I'm doing you a favor.
Meanwhile, Mr. Loaded for Bear over there
Now has a short sword.
now has a short sword and a spear, both of which should have been peacebound.
What do I need to roll to snatch bottles?
Okay. Snatching a bottle.
Reaction.
No,
It's
not
only a
quite
free
that.
action if you drink it.
I'm gonna have you roll
Do that.
an attack. What is the skill for snatching arrows?
Dexterity.
What do you roll?
No,
for that?
it's but monks get that.
I know.
The deflect missiles attack?
Missile snaring.
Missile snare.
What is that?
What is that?
What?
Deflect missiles.
Where you can snatch them.
So starting at 3rd level, you can use your reaction to deflect or catch the missile if you're hit by a ranged weapon attack. The attack is reduced by 1d10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your monk level. Efficiency. Yeah, just make me a melee attack roll.
10.
So what you're saying is that, but what I'm hearing is that we need to get Zanelle like a bow, so Zanelle can just snatch the arrow and then shoot it back.
Oh, you can throw it back
Yeah, just
as part of that reaction. it becomes a ranged, basically a thrown weapon. You make the attack with proficiency regardless of your weapon proficiencies, and the missile counts as a monk weapon for the attack. So it's not just a 1d4, it's
Oh,
like
shit.
an 1d8 plus all of your bonuses. But you have to spend a key point to do it.
I have one
Oh,
left.
nasty.
Nice.
I rolled a
But
10.
no, you don't have to spend a key point for this. I'm just saying, I was just sort of getting a frame of reference where you're trying to basically
Okay.
snatch the missile out of their hands before they get it.
Ten.
You grab one bottle, and the person turns around, like indignant anger, sort of like, how dare you, interrupt my civil disobedience, sort of thing. And then a rock just basically comes flying like straight past your face from another person.
Come on, let's be civil about this. We do not need to cause violence in the streets right now. So I think I didn't get that bottle.
You got the bottle,
Okay, and then
but then there's like 3 other people throwing rocks and stuff.
I'm just like trying to collect the dangerous stuff, and that's my turn.
Cool. I'll go down to Malik.
Yeah, about that. So I'm gonna move up to there, and since he saw Zanel do it, I'm gonna try to like grab things that are like flying at us.
Well, nothing's flying at you. Everything is flying in that direction.
Oh, in that case, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of move up here, I guess, because that's 1, 2, 3 to get up to the first position, right? To here.
Yep.
And then that I have 40
That's about as far
movement.
as you can go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm basically kind of, the mall is sideways, and it's basically just a snowplow through these people.
Give me an...
Come on, say strength. Say it. Say it.
No, I wanna look up.
Or Dex, I could do Dex. As long as it's not charisma, I'm fine.
Where is it here? Push and pull. Where is it here?
I think it'd probably
Shove
be
action.
contested strength or something, wouldn't it? Something along those lines.
Give me a strength athletics.
A what?
Strength athletics.
A what?
Sorry, say again. We're not
Strength.
playing vampire.
Give me an athletics check.
Yeah.
Using your strength bonus.
So that
So
is
salty.
15. Mm. Out of the way, coming through.
The crowd does not move.
What?
There's too many people. There's like you're catching like 3 or 4 people. They're pushing back. They're realizing, hey, there's something going on back, and they're like, "Argh!"
I would
So
like to
you're
rage.
you're directing their anger, perhaps. But you were expecting just to push these randoms out of the way, and they're
It's gonna start a mosh pit.
angry enough that they're not wanting to be pushed.
Well,
Yeah,
kid,
it's
they
gonna start a
cannot
mosh
want to be pushed all they want. Next turn, they're getting pushed.
You gonna rage?
Let them know.
He is going to.
Move.
Gonna push her. I'm gonna light you all on fire. Dr.
Like
Rosenthal.
that plan.
Oh my gosh, it's my turn already?
It's a great time for an acid sphere. That's all I'm saying.
Is it though?
I actually had another idea.
Yeah,
So are we
definitely
fighting-
have.
Yeah, I'm not gonna throw in acid. Are like people like attacking Malik? Is that what's happening?
Not that you can see. He's trying to push his way through, and he's turned his maul sideways as a sort of a cattle prod.
Okay.
But they're
My range.
pushing back. They're resisting the push.
All right.
And I'm not out of rage yet, but the eye's twitching. Like,
I see. Okay, my plan. Okay, I'm gonna run. I guess. Wait, hang on. I don't actually know how far anything is. Oh, I have so much room. Okay, at the front of the crowd, I'm gonna cast sleep and try to put those mobby people to sleep.
The ones
That's
at the front, are you including the guards?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they don't look like the guards don't look like they're like right next to them on my map. I don't know if maybe that's like on my map.
Sorry,
there's
yeah.
like
At
a
this
20...
point, they probably would be. I just moved this out of the way here.
Okay. Can you
Yeah,
just?
they-
I have a
also, there's-
20-foot. Let me double check. 20-foot. What? Creatures within 20 feet, so a 20-foot sphere, I guess.
What is going on?
A lot of people. Slight misrepresentation of. There we go. So yeah, they're up there. These guards are basically starting to get overwhelmed, and they're questioning their life choices, I guess.
Okay. Then I'm gonna choose a point that's a little before the guards. And
Okay.
cast sleep. It's a 20-foot radius.
Okay.
I don't think there's any like. There's no like DC. I roll some
A number of hit points, and then I just apply it to.
D8s. Yeah. So I'm gonna cast this as second level, so I get 7 D8s.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let me roll. I'll just add.
Just
Oh,
roll
no.
1d8 7 times. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay, that is a total of 34. So I guess I don't. Did you? I guess I'm trying to mark a spot that's
34. Okay.
Is it a 20-foot radius or a 20-foot? Creatures within 20 feet. It's huge. It's such a big.
So it's like a 40-foot.
Yeah, it's like a 40-foot radius.
Yeah, so I guess like in the middle. I drew a circle, but I can't delete it for some reason. I didn't mean to draw a circle. I'm just gonna put people.
I'm not even sure what layer that's on.
Yeah, I don't know how I managed. I can't click on it. Sorry, I just broke
Your
it.
sleep
Oh,
spell just put roll 20 to sleep.
Power.
There forever.
Nope.
And then as a bonus action, I'll cast my my magic stone on some rocks.
I love it.
You always got to be prepared.
Hey,
And
Mike,
I'm gonna stay where I am.
Yep.
check the DM guide for me with regards to the guards. Is questioning your life choices a free action?
Questioning your life choices is a free action.
Okay.
It's always a free action.
Marcos does it a lot, so he knows.
I really don't. Not yet.
All right. At the front of the crowd, a bunch of people
They all fall asleep.
fall to their knees and
This is gonna turn into a Black Friday.
mob crush.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey everyone,
I'm
the
not gonna lie.
televisions are on
That's one
sale
of the things that
back
went through my
here.
head.
Lobster. Lobster's on sale.
Lobster. We have lobsters. They have lobsters. So 30 minutes. Gotta do math in my head. So
What did he say? Blessed are the cheesemakers.
that guy, 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 that guy. So a bunch of people sort of collapse onto a pile of each other and fall asleep.
You do that 7 more times.
Easy enough.
Action surge.
Right? I mean, I don't know. It lasts for a whole minute.
Mm-hmm.
Or
But
until
I
you
think if they get hit, they wake up.
do any damage, they wake up, yes. So they're not
Yeah.
going to be crushed under the Black Friday sale feed. No.
Okay.
So that's something. However, right now, the guards have been given some respite, and they're backing up. They're like, nope, we're okay, no, we're, and they're trying to plead. They're like, citizens, please, we can't. And one of the guards is like, yeah, but they're right. This is not the time, sort of thing.
Ooh.
And they're trying to quell. And more guards you see arriving behind them, and then you hear the sound of mailed feet behind you as well.
That's not good.
A couple of guards come in from off to one side and directly behind. And they're basically, hey, hold there! Cease this at once! Go back to your homes!
Don't bring your politics into work, Carl.
Okay, we've got guards on our side of the street. I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Delphia.
They're behind you, so it's probably you getting stabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Zanelle's not there anymore.
Oh, my bad. I had one job.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I left so quickly, too.
Just
Yeah,
the
no,
first chance.
I see how much I'm worth to
The
you.
fortune
I see how
teller
much
was
I'm worth.
true. Everything the fortune teller said was true. No.
Never trust a monk.
My
Delphia.
bad. That's fair. That's fair.
Delphia kind of, can she get up on top of these crates over here just to?
Absolutely can. Give me an athletics. Athletics or acrobatics, you can call it.
Well, they're both. Oh no, acrobatics is better. Hey, that's a dirty 20. I can climb on crates.
You parkour your way up, and you'd make your monastery proud if you were a monk. But you're not.
I'm so proud.
But you find that
I'm nimble.
you're quite nimble. You're surprisingly nimble. You're surprised yourself at how nimble you are.
Oh. I don't definitely.
You just
don't
can't climb
pull out a
down.
weapon or anything. Right. Yeah. No, I'm stuck up here. Malik, you're gonna have to help me down.
No.
Probably because you just climbed up on what looks like either. Let me zoom in on that. It's probably like,
Malik.
what are those, radishes?
So
Vat of sausages.
I just stay here and keep an eye on things for now.
That's fair.
I don't hold my action. That's it. I just try. Hey, folks, calm down. Maybe.
Maybe. Or not. You know, whatever.
I'm
if you
not
want.
really sure.
Fine.
If these people are hungry, then, I don't know what's going on with this town though. So, but if people are hungry, that's bad.
Izamina.
That's my turn. Yep.
Okay, Mike, in the 2 sessions since last I played, have Isa had a chance to have a short rest?
Yes. You have everything back. You've had a long rest.
I've had a long rest. I have all of my spell slots back and
Have
everything.
all your spell slots left.
Oh, shit. I was just asking for a short rest. I will take that shit. That's great.
May
Excellent.
I have a long rest as well, since I missed Sarah so much during those 2 sessions?
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
Wait a
I already
minute.
clicked it. Nope, we're
Right.
good. I already clicked it. Let's go. No, I remember how many spell slots I had. All I was really looking for was my short rest. I have a feature.
I can give you guys a short rest.
Okay. I have a feature called Orders Demand.
Ooh. What is that?
I'm going to take off the pin that is so precious to me now that somebody finally knew what it was. And I'm going to hold it up proudly. And I'm going to walk right smack into the crowd. Like,
Sword of omens give me sight beyond sight.
like I want to be, yeah, right in front of Malik. I'm gonna be like, excuse me, coming through. Excuse me, coming through.
Gonna do a whole for the honor of Grayskull thing.
Well,
Kind of thing.
with the mall out, I'm seeing that Isamina's probably gonna like duck underneath, and I'm gonna
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
And I'm going to hold up my pen, and I'm going to use orders demand.
Okay.
And
What's that do?
as an action, you present your holy symbol, and each creature that can see or hear you within 30 feet, each creature of your choice that can see or hear you within 30 feet, must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you until the end of your next turn.
Wow.
Or until they take damage.
Cool
You can
beans.
also cause the charmed creatures to drop what they are holding when they fail the saving throw.
Wow. Dang. What?
Order clerics are the best clerics.
Let me just do a quick little
I'm not taking
measurement
criticism
thing.
at this time.
And it's actually literally giving them an order at this point. It's like,
I'm just going to say
You said within 30 feet?
within 30 feet. So should be the entire like chaos.
And is that an action?
It is my action.
Can you move any farther in?
I think that was 30 feet. Don't let me check. Is my movement only 30? Yeah.
I'm going to
That's
let
as far
you
as I
because
get.
rule of cool. And you could have
Yeah.
placed yourself kind of just about anywhere on the edge of the
Sweet.
crowd.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you move another 10 feet in,
Oh no.
if you choose.
since
Yeah, Malik just gives me a good
Yeah.
shove.
Yeah.
Get in there. This is your thing.
Yeah. You were made for this.
Incoming
All
cleric.
right. And I'm just gonna say, friends. The Amber Confession has sent me, and I will get to the bottom of this. I promise you. If you could please just tamper down your emotions, let me do the work that I was sent here to do. I will make sure, and I'm going to hold up the gimp mask proudly with in the other hand, and I'm going to say, I will make sure that the perpetrator is brought to justice. This shall not stand. Innocent deaths cannot be allowed to happen in this city or in any city. People of Hawchek, I strongly urge you to put down your weapons and heed my peaceful call.
What's the save DC? Sitting here rolling d20s, so I need to know.
That's a great question. My spell save is 15.
15.
It's not shabby.
How did you get fit? Okay, yeah, no, I mean,
Well, it's not as good as my passive insight of 40, but we'll take it.
yeah, no, okay.
I believe it's the Stern Mom bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Earn mom bonus.
Fan
go.
art, please.
So talk amongst yourselves because I'm going to be rolling
Singlis
another
has
150
asked for fan art. Can we please tap into the fund of emergency uses and get fan art of Isa holding up the gimp mask?
It's one draw, please.
And she's gonna look back to Malik, or no, to Marcos, and she's gonna be like, see, innocents don't have to get hurt. I got this. But she can't see him because she's in the middle of the crowd. This cannot go poorly. And I'm sure Marcos is not freaking out at all that she has just
No.
disappeared into this crowd.
He's fine.
It's fine. He trusts her
Everything's
implicitly.
fine.
Everything
As
is
she
great.
turns to Marcos, an arrow gets hit in her back and she falls.
A spear.
Mm.
Oh God. Even Rosenthal would be scared.
She just starts drinking all of the potions that people are handing her
He will
to
lose
give
his
up their.
mind.
To the chat. I mean, it's all great that I'm actually getting rid of all of these terrible rolls now.
Woo!
I have not rolled above a 16 in probably 30 rolls now.
The power of the Gimp mask compels you, Mike.
I mean, Mike, you could probably just like roll once or something.
I could.
There's a lot of people on screen.
That's a lot
The
of.
problem with that is that if he rolls well, then I'm screwed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what you need
and she's
is
got
like
150
some of
people angry at her.
Yeah, or like
'Cause it's a
groups
charm
of 5
person
or
spell.
something.
The good news is I have a plan.
Does single or does does our chronicler want to know how many natural ones I've rolled out of this?
So
I do.
The stamina press so far I'm at 5.
Marcos has a plan.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm gonna bet at least 1 gold piece that it involves stabbing.
Actually, no, it doesn't.
There we go.
I don't believe you.
It involves smacking.
Can't reach
Because
me. I'm in the
Zanelle-
middle of the crowd.
I should have said
Zanelle
physical
was
violence.
Zanelle was nice enough to lend me a riot baton.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm hoping your sword is sheathed because my plan is to start bonking
Mhm.
with it.
Yeah.
Should have said physical violence. Why didn't I say
Because
physical
Yeah.
I am proficient with short swords, so I can just start smacking fools.
All right. Most of the people seem as you basically take a stand and you kind of elbow people out of the way and then you present your holy symbol and basically try to yell your voice above the din of the crowd. And as you continue to talk, more people quiet around you to listen.
I'm just gonna go ahead
And the
kill
effect
this
almost
riot.
it's almost like dropping a pebble in a cool still pond where it's sort of the ripple just spreads, and the more people that quiet, the more people hear you, the more people listening, and the more people become entranced by this. There are some seemingly on the outskirts who are still yelling, still angry, and one in particular, this guy. It's like, no, she lies. She works for them. She's one of the rich.
And while both of my hands are up, I'm just going to slip my pen back on my shirt and just point to him and like try to get Marcos's attention. Just like that one. There's your job, bud. That one.
Get him. Get him.
That's my bonus action. Commanding Marcos to Terry Crews tackle somebody. Terry Tate, the office linebacker. That's who it is. That is the best. Those are the best commercials.
But does Marcos like yogurt? That's my question.
So good.
Because Terry hates yogurt.
And there are some people on the outskirts. They're not happy with your performance, and they listened to the goading of that particular miscreant, and you get some rocks thrown at you. I'm pretty sure 4 misses, but a 19 hits. And you take 3 points of damage as a rock kind of glances off of your cheek.
Just gonna wipe the blood off and raise my hand up so that Marcos can see that I'm bleeding.
Save me, Marcos! And other people closer to you guys in the crowd, a bit further away from Izamina, are still angry, and they're all starting to look at you as a potential threat, especially now that the guards are coming up behind.
Okay. Oh,
Marcos.
boy. Okay. I'm gonna do 2 things. One, I'm going to unsling my shield. 2, I'm going to glance at the closest guards and just in my
Sorry.
taking a lesson from my instructors in my best authority voice, snap, let's break this up. And I'm going to move forward. And the first aggressive person, I'm going to use this sheathed short sword that I've confiscated from Zanel, and I'm going to bonk them over the head.
Cool.
I am using it like a riot baton.
Cool.
So,
You said you're moving yourself up?
yeah, I'm going to move up, and the first person I run into who's not pacified is getting bonked in the head.
Give me an insight check.
Okay.
Sorry, yes, we'll break in a second.
That's a 13.
Okay. This person up next to Zanel is eyeing her pretty maliciously, and he's got a rock.
He didn't even do anything.
Okay. Whoop on.
Roll
So
hit.
I'm going to smack him.
Okay.
Just make a normal attack roll.
Yep.
Does a 7 hit?
No, it does not.
Okay, I'm gonna hit him again.
What are you doing?
We missed the first time.
I'm smacking him.
The little old lady is pretty spry.
11.
11 does hit.
Okay, and should I just roll the damage, but specify that it's bashing because I'm...
I would say it's
Not-
also an improvised weapon because you're not using it in a conventional way.
Okay,
But you can specify that it's non-lethal.
yeah, okay.
You're smacking her with the butt of the weapon or something.
With the flat, basically. That's an 8.
And just like that, you kind of reach out. See, this little old lady was eyeing Zanel very maliciously with a rock, and she was sort of getting ready to throw it, and just out of nowhere, the hilt and the scabbard of a short sword come out of nowhere and snap her in the head, knocks her out. Rock falls out of her hand. But we're gonna take a quick break. Sorry, I should have shut this down a little bit sooner. So go hydrate, and we will see the result of this crowd-controlled mayhem in a few. Hey everybody, sorry for that cutoff. We are in the middle of a massive combat where, not really,
People are getting
Izumina has
terrorized.
stepped in and exercised her Order Cleric superpowers, as it were, domain powers, and quelled an entire crowd of potential rioters, would-be rioters, if you will. Except
And
for a few,
speaking
and they're
of-
angry.
Speaking of raiders and rioters, thanks 5% chance for coming and raiding us. I was watching your stream before our stream, and you guys were killing it tonight. So thanks for coming and viewing us.
Yeah.
Yes, 5% chance are awesome.
Woot. So,
And send. Oh, just one sec. If you can, 5% chance. Send me the YouTube link so I can put that up in our chat. Go ahead.
done.
Done.
Okay, we're good. Okay,
Sharing the love, man.
I just keep getting Discord.
We're feeling
pop-ups
it
or
tonight.
something.
Except for Marcos, who's
Okay.
trying to kill innocence. And now you're brought up to speed, 5% chance.
I am just pacifying the crowd.
Whacked an old lady
Dude,
in the
an
head
old
with
lady.
a sword scabbard.
Dead people are peaceful.
No, it wasn't the
Early
children.
though.
Shocker, C1. It was the old lady that Marcos accidentally killed a lot.
Yeah, you guys are all going to be upset or be glad when Marcos reveals that she was in fact the big bad evil guy the entire time. Swacked her in
She
the face with
deserved
the
her.
thing.
She deserved her opportunity to be the big bad evil guy.
Yeah.
She
one
got
deserves
that
their
taken away
opportunity
from
to
her.
make that evil.
Wow. No, that's why her children will seek her revenge. See?
See, now it's even
okay,
worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we have a Batman revenge story thing going on.
That's a.
My
deeper-
parents are dead.
My parents are dead. I have lots of
Because
money. It kind of makes it better.
Because I'm Batman.
Because I'm Batman. Now, back up to the top, Zeno.
I would like to check on the old lady that was murdered and see if there's anything I can do to save her.
Well, she was sort of laid out with a swack in the head with a sword scabbard. So you give me a you got to move up. Actually, no, she's right next to you. Yeah. Medicine check.
Absolutely. 6.
Man, she's
Dead.
really
It's
unconscious.
just. I mean.
Long rest, courtesy of Marcos. We'll say.
really
Free
long rest.
free long rest with every sword scabbard.
If I don't think she's dead,
You do not think she is dead. You're not sure how or to what extent she is injured, but she is not dead. She is breathing.
I'd like to then go ahead and try. Is there people right here in this little area, in this little
No.
corner? I'd like to just like then drag her and sit her up like kind of over there so she's
can do
like
that.
out of the way. And I'm cool if that's my action.
We'll pack her up and then we'll move you over next to her there. Okay. Alec.
And like a lot of the people are kind of looking at Izumina, right? And they're kind of like charmed.
Yeah.
It's just the
Pretty much anyone with the little red dots beside them are still visibly angry and either throwing rocks still at the
Oh.
guards who are backing up and waiting for the reinforcements up there, or start basically eyeing and aiming at you.
right.
Or
Uh,
in Izumina, technically.
well, I'm
she's the
gonna
voice.
then move up and kind of like there's the two people here, right? that
Yes.
are- okay. So I'm gonna grab the hand of one of them, like if they have the rock down by their side. I'm gonna grab their hand,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna say, "We have lobster."
Give me grapple check.
Grapple check.
A strength
Oh joy!
athletics versus
Wow.
their strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics.
Well, that just sucked. That's a 12
At 12.
with a +6.
So 18.
No, the total's 12.
I know.
I'm just illustrating how shitty that roll was.
Fascinatingly, 1, this is a commoner. 2, I rolled a 10. So, despite
Take
your
that, commoner.
clumsy efforts and Izumina turning around like some kind of prophet, trying to address all of the crowd, so you kind of dodge around her, but you still manage to snag the hand that has a rock in it.
Yeah, that's definitely sort of a. We have lobster.
And get masks.
So, so this woman,
Lobster and Gip
average
Mask
woman,
is the worst name for a restaurant
female
ever.
presenting. They have looks like they might have had some kind of textiles or bread or I don't know something, but mostly empty basket next to them, and they had just sort of scooped up a rock and they were getting ready to maybe hit Izumina with it, maybe to throw it. You're not entirely sure. You grab the hand and you've got this 7-foot red dragonborn looking down at them going,
Tisk.
"We'll get
tisk.
lobster."
We have lobster.
Are you trying to intimidate them?
No, I'm just informing them
Oh,
that
good.
there is lobster
While
available.
you've grappled their arm, we have lobster.
It's
Are
a
you
distraction.
raging while you do this?
I am not.
There's lobster.
Yeah, you'd have advantage.
We have lobster.
We have lobster. I'm bet now. That's your action,
That is my action.
Dr. Rosenthal.
Oh, it's my turn again?
You still haven't thrown that acid glove.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. How many are still being evil, angry people?
Probably a few more than a half dozen. A bunch of them around the crowd.
Are they all in a 20-foot circle? It says within 20 feet of a point. So a 40-foot circle.
Yeah, that one's unconscious. Let's go from here. 20, 20, 20. Yes, they are. If you center it on Izumina.
Do it. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, it's with the creature with the
Fireball.
lowest current hit points. So I went over this. We do not play with fire.
you-
Okay,
But you're a scribe mage, so you can change it to acid.
I can, but I'm not.
So it'd be an
just-
acid ball as the 20-foot.
Within principle, we do not do that. Okay, so we're
Fireball.
gonna cast it at 2nd level again. So I get 7 of these.
Are you going to drop another sleep spell?
Oh, I'm absolutely dropping another sleep spell.
Excellent, excellent.
And that is.
Can you pick the targets, or is it just
It's from the lowest. Creature with
okay?
the lowest current hit points, and that's 39.
Wow. Okay.
They have to like use all of it to put them to sleep.
Is it from the lowest or the highest hit points?
Lowest.
Okay.
Starting with a creature
Sure.
that has the lowest current hit
Okay.
points, each creature affected by the spell falls unconscious until the spell ends.
And where are you centering?
I was like, otherwise that's me.
Izumina.
Because it will get all the other people as well.
I mean, wherever I have 90 feet, so like this, like wherever I have.
You want to
plenty of
catch
reach.
the most possible.
Yeah.
Chance of getting the most protester types.
Yes.
That's a hard call, actually, because they're just all over the place. Most of them are listening to Izumina.
Yeah. Put him to sleep.
She wants the riled up ones though, right? Or
But you
any
can't,
of
you
them.
can't
Yeah,
pick and
but-
choose with sleep, though. It's just the
Yeah,
thing.
he just mentioned that they're like everywhere. So I'm just gonna center around Izumina and whoever falls
And
asleep. falls
hope.
asleep. Yeah.
Ah, sure. Make me do these odd stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Um,
make you do it.
All right.
While Mike is rolling that, Steve, perchance, based on the text that Singlish just sent me, did you change the sound to be soothing and unriot-like?
That might be a good plan.
Yeah, pretty much as soon as the
All right.
first sleep spell and then
Good times.
your spell kicked in, I was like,
Yeah.
Stop, play.
She
Sirenscape,
says
everybody.
it's like a haunting Celtic flute tune, appropriate for foggy rolling hills.
Yep. Or
There we go, Sirenscape. There's your ad for next week.
Or if you're doing like an Outlander like ttrpg and you want some
That would be
Scottish smut at your table, that's
Tight
fine.
as
Yeah.
shit. Can somebody please run that for the one shot, the charity 24-hour charity stream here on Vancouver by Night, Saturday the 27th.
27th, yeah.
27th.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
Saturday.
Saturday.
Next
24 hours.
Okay.
Starting with me, passing to Jacqueline.
And if we raise $500 for the team, the whole team, I will play my next character as a bard.
Can
Okay.
people donate at any time, Steve, to make that
Anytime.
happen, or only during the
Anytime.
24-hour charity stream? Anytime. So somebody
Anytime.
could just drop 500 right now.
Yep.
And you would kill Malik tonight and come as a bard next week.
Say what again?
Whoa.
Is that not?
That's
No.
that's if
If
you hit
one
1,000.
person drops
We'll just-
500 right now.
I think we should just then start a whole nother campaign on a different day and he can play a bard then.
Oh my God, I'm so tired just thinking about it.
You have to take the L. Somebody put a 500 on this. Like,
Mhm.
we have
How
to make
much?
sacrifices.
Yeah, you know what? Somebody
How
will
much has
throw
been
down.
raised?
And I'm just going to delete
Uh,
a few-
My extra life charity's going well, actually. I'm nearly at 100.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. A bunch of people in the crowd also fall asleep, including the 3 X's that you notice. And the reason I put those as X's is that to identify them as the potential troublemakers that weren't affected by the charm.
Huh.
Now, how long does this charm last for?
Sleep?
No. The sleep lasts for a minute.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for the Order Cleric deets.
Oh, 10 minutes? 10 minutes? Hold up. Let me. Orders demand. Oh, no, it's not.
Uh-oh.
It's an hour, right? Yeah, that sounds right.
Until the end of my next turn or until they take damage.
No.
And it
Oh.
hasn't been my next turn yet.
It hasn't
We're
been
good.
your next turn yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it's good that I'm putting them to sleep. I
How
don't
many
feel
times
bad
can you
anymore.
use this?
Oh yes,
Once-
it's very good that you're
Once
putting-
per short rest.
All right, so let's all take a break. We just need one good short rest then we can start this
Oh
over.
boy.
We just took a short rest. We like went to go to the bathroom and hydrate.
Oh, nice, nice.
Good point. That is why he's the doctor.
Love it.
It makes sense.
That's it. I'm putting.
Intelligent.
A for effort.
I'm gonna put like dice in the chat for like commands, so that anybody, if they want, they can take a short rest
Love it.
while we're taking our rest.
Nice. So, Malik, you pushed ahead. Can I get this guy out of the way? And that person out of the way. That person shouldn't be sitting on top of his Mina. Yet.
Well, I am wearing the get mask. I am holding the get mask.
And you're holding a good match. Such as it is. And Malik, you pushed ahead. And
That is correct.
Dr. Rosenthal just cast another sleep spell and caught a bunch more in there, in the net, as it were. Is that your turn, Doctor?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm happy back here, watching.
These guards move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh,
That dude's out there. Put him over here.
And they're gonna stab Marcos in the back.
These guys join their fellows. Why is this guy even here? There. And they draw their short swords. As to these ones. Citizens, be on your way. Back to your homes. And they're clanging their swords against their shields. That is their action for now. Delphia.
Gosh. Oh no. Can I hop down from my crate to be like right here?
You can.
Right, that's on top of him. Whoops, I didn't mean to move him. Oops, I moved people. Sorry.
Sorry,
I
everybody.
jumped down from my
Sorry.
crate there.
Sorry.
Sorry. And I say, whoa, guys, whoa. We don't need to like have weapons out, right? This is just all a big misunderstanding. I don't think weapons are gonna necessarily calm people down.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, no, that's probably not good. Oh gosh, she's got a 0 in confidence.
It's fine. You're gonna roll high.
Charisma. Okay. Nope, that's a 7. At least it's not a negative.
Move along. Back to your home. He doesn't seem fazed by your plea to.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't think she'd do anything else. I think she believes that Isamina really does have everyone's attention. And if not, then the doctor's doing something to make people just fall to the ground. So not sure what's going on necessarily.
Give me a charisma saving throw.
Oh. Yeah, that's not great. That's an 11.
Okay.
Charisma's not her thing.
This guy is being really aggro.
Yeah.
He's just in your face. It's just great. It's just grating, and you can almost feel like the hackles on the back of your neck are just raising. Just like this guy. This guy deserves what he's getting. If he comes at you, you're gonna. This is just not. Yeah. You feel like the only way this guy's gonna learn is if you punch him out. You don't have to. I'm just saying this is sort of a.
You watch your step, mister.
Make it a gut reaction, maybe.
Dang it.
Something deep down inside is just telling you that this guy is like trying to strut above his weight line, above his weight class,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, he is most definitely, but yeah, no, I'll just stand in front of him, like I'm not moving, and that's my show of belligerence.
Cool. Give me an intimidation check.
Don't punch him though. Don't make a what check?
Give me an intimidation check.
Oh jeez. Oh gosh, these are the worst. Everything's charisma based. Oh, that's cocked. That's a 3.
Yeah, so you basically just stare at each other because I rolled terribly too.
Is it too late to take the cock roll? Like, just be like, that was sort of a 19.
Sort of a 20.
Sort of a 17.
Nudge.
So yeah, she just growl like doesn't. No, she doesn't growl.
Does she what?
No.
Do you even have the remotest instinct to growl?
Do it.
It almost feels like
if he makes a move,
but
if
you
he
don't.
Makes a move, yeah.
Okay. Isamina.
Oh snap!
Oh, it's your turn. That's right. So, the crowd, as you're talking,
is still on my side until the end of my turn.
Oh, the end of your turn. Okay, yep. So they're still listening.
I don't like that laughter.
Just to let everyone know that you're watching now, Isamina is an order cleric, and she has used the order cleric power what's it called?
Orders demand.
Orders demand to basically quell a potentially rioting crowd and charm them. But the charm only lasts until the end of her next turn, which is now.
And,
so,
and it's
you're up to
not
speed.
the same. It's not the charm person's spell.
No.
It's just that they are charmed. So
They're listening to what you have to say.
Yes.
Until the end of the round.
So I am going to now cast at level 2, Calm Emotions.
Ooh, bravo. What's the range on that?
Each humanoid in a 20-foot sphere,
Nice.
which is most everybody.
Must make a charisma saving throw.
Charisma 15.
Out of the 15 DC. Okay. That's their saving throw, is the 15?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, against your DC. Yep. Okay.
I can suppress any effect causing a target to be charmed or frightened. So I can overwrite the charm.
Overwrite your own power.
So that they don't lose faith in me in 5 more seconds when this is over.
Okay.
And I'm just, I'm going to hold up my hand that is bloodied, and I'm still holding up the gimp mask with the red hair out of it. Friends, I beseech you, is there anybody in this crowd who would be so brave as to give us information about a person with red hair who might be liable for the death of a beloved young woman? Please step forward and speak your truth, and let us bring the correct person to justice, whoever they may be.
Lucia is her name. But I'm sure Izza knew that. And
Yeah.
Knock the old lady out here. Boonk.
I didn't knock the old lady out. I just want to make that real freaking clear for everybody here.
Amazingly, in the sleep spell, I gave them all a percentage based on where the positioning they were and the number of people around them as to whether or not they would be hit by it. And you managed to get 3 out of the 39 hit points that you rolled, Doctor. With this calm emotions, every other character, individual, especially after all the sleep has had an effect. Here's a question.
They're having really happy dreams, probably. They're just like
Expressed emotion, charm, frighten, not expire in the meantime. You are suppressing the charm, or are you making the target indifferent about creatures of your choice that is... Oh, that was hostile toward. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just calming emotions. I'm just trying to bring everybody, like, I don't want mass hysteria. I'm trying to bring everybody's emotions down so that logic and compassion can rule. I'm looking for somebody to step forward and give us information.
I'm going to say
about the person with red hair.
The sleep spell, despite being a spell that is used aggressively against the target, is not harm.
Agree.
Because you're not actually inflicting damage per se. So you've pretty much got the entire crowd. Whoever
also, I can choose. So like, I wouldn't choose the sleeping people.
Fair.
If it was going to cause them damage.
Well, the one guy is still yelling, "Don't listen to her. She's lying. She's paid by the Taranescu."
What color hair does he have?
Sort of a bald top and sort of graying around the outsides.
Quick question. Is that a charisma saving throw?
That I can choose.
Damn.
I mean,
Do you? I don't. You're not raging. I'll calm your emotions. Sure.
I'm not raging.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Mellows out.
Well, apparently not with that roll. That was a natural
You
20.
know.
Nice.
You know what I do.
Either way, Malik is gonna go. I have information. The mask is something to do with it.
That's.
Good job.
See, we need brave people like this to come forward.
Like this random
And-
citizen.
And share who pushed me into the middle so that I could charm all of you.
Random dragonborn
need-
I've never met before in my life.
We need strong people to come forward with information so that Lucia can receive her justice in her tragedy. Please come forward. If you have any information about somebody with red hair, no matter who they are.
I heard that Toronescu fella killed her.
Does he have red hair?
And now I'm picturing that scene in Monty Python. Well, she turned me into a newt.
A newt.
I got better. Burn her anyway. Burn her. No. How long does commotion last? Up to 1 minute, and it's concentration.
Oh no.
It's fine.
Zev knows what I'm about.
It's fine. I got this.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine here. Would she know?
And
Don't
I've got
think
a
so.
passive insight of 20. So if anybody's being shifty as fuck, I'm going to know.
Yep.
While Mike is figuring out which of these crowd people are shifty as fuck, Jacqueline, what color are your nails? Let me see.
They're actually
They're really pretty.
brown, but you can't tell
They're
because they look. You can maybe tell they look black. They're supposed to be turkey brown.
of course, naturally.
Yeah.
I would expect nothing less.
I wanted more of like a red brown. But
like
they-
an auburn.
Alright.
Yeah, that's what I was going for, but they didn't have that as an option. So I went with more like the tan brown instead.
Another one of the villagers says, "But them Radus and the Torescus, they're all rich and they're just taking advantage of us."
And that is absolutely something that we should deal with. You're right. That is inappropriate when some are floundering for the basics.
Yeah.
A universal basic income is really important. First past the post voting would be progressive and an intelligent choice for your community.
10 minutes later.
With your passive insight of 20, you're kind of losing him.
Yeah, Malik is just gonna kind of like.
And not so much because he's not listening to you. He is listening to you. He just seems to not understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that's fine. I said it only because I wanted to hear Christian laugh in the living room, and mission succeeded, friends.
Malik is just gonna like lightly elbow Izamina in the ribs and be like, "Not the time. Cool it."
Are we still initiative?
Yes.
Oh,
That's the end of my turn. Bonus action was giving an NDP platform.
Nice.
That's
nice.
a
There-
bonus action.
There it is. Bernie Sanders. No. Where are
Birdie.
we?
Mittens for everyone.
Marcos.
Yes. Question. Can
Yeah.
I see the guy who is still agitating and trying to keep the crowd riled
Yeah.
up and angry?
You can see him.
Okay. Next question. Is he within 60 feet of me?
Yes, he is.
I'm gonna hit him with hold person.
Okay.
He has to make a DC 14. Let me see what the saving throw is against. Wisdom, DC 14.
For the sake of people listening at home, by hold person you mean the spell, right? Not actually like sticking your spear through him. Just
Yes,
checking.
hold person. I am casting hold person.
Yeah, just checking.
I am now out of second level spell slots.
Wait, you have spells too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pin him to the
I'm
wall with
teasing.
your spear.
I'm teasing.
All right. And he's yelling, and he's like, "Don't listen to her. She's a spy for the rich. She's working for the Tornescu, and she."
That's enough.
And she's pointing at his and his arm starts to shake, and he's like, "Ah, ah, ah."
And I'm gonna look over at the guards and just kind of jerk my chin towards the man and just murmur, I have him for a minute. You might want to go grab him before I lose hold of this.
Yeah, persuasion check.
Okay. That's an 8.
Whoa.
That was almost a 19. That was almost a 19.
It's a good thing the guard rolled really high not perception,
Insight?
insight. Yeah, he killed his insight roll, so he already saw what you were doing. But he sort of looks at you a little shiftily, but sort of he and his companion, who seems to have disappeared, start moving through the crowd and start basically generally dispersing them or sort of pushing them, and people are starting to move away as they see more guards coming up and more guards coming down the pipe.
While that's happening, I'm just gonna hold out the short sword, which I realize now I've been holding as like my spell focus as I cast that spell. And I'm just like, Zanel, do you want this back?
Absolutely.
And the second guard, as he walks by, reaches out, holds out his hand, grabs the scabbard. I'll take that.
Do you see what you did, Marcos? Do you see what you did? Now,
It's
now
precious
my
to her.
short sword
I'll
is
expect that to be returned when this is over.
Absolutely.
You gonna give up your
Thank you.
weapons too?
Mine is a holy implement.
And that, he points to the spear.
Yeah, run it.
Marcos grits his teeth for a second, looks at the man, and
Are we still in initiative?
Yes. Because there's at least 2 concentration spells going on right now that are going to end.
I'm just
in,
gonna hand the spear. I'm going to reluctantly and very slowly hold the spear out to him. Give this to the magistrate. Leave it in his care. That's my only request.
Sure.
Appreciated.
Mine's
And
too.
very reluctantly. It's like.
And he continues on, and he actually uses the spear and he bangs on his shield. Everyone, move on,
Oi,
move
now.
on.
What do they do about all the sleeping people?
Do I cast Compel Duel on that guard for hijacking my spear?
Yes. Yeah.
We see basically piles of people that are asleep, and they're nudging them with their feet. Come on, move on. Back to your homes. Ching, ching, ching.
Layabouts.
Which wakes them up.
Right.
Unless you have
Yes.
information about redheads.
Don't leave,
Honestly, I think we might get something from
says the redhead.
our agitator once they finish arresting him.
None of them were like, well, you have red hair. It was
Haven't got to
you.
yet. They're still moving up to you. Give them a chance.
That's
All
right.
right. Zanel.
Does everyone look like they're like dispersing?
There's a lot of confusion. There's some people that are some along the edges, some at the back here where you guys were. They're starting to shuffle away, a little confused at the sudden height and then low of emotions that happened. Some people are sort of struggling to their feet after falling asleep in the middle of the street for some reason. The agitator seems to be not agitating, just pointing a finger angrily and gritting his teeth. And the rest seem to be generally sort of milling about, confused. Sort of a, why were we here in the first place? Sort of like the wind knocked out of a lot of people's sails.
The ones that look confused, does it look like they just saw like a riot and joined, had no idea? It does look like there was like a spell put on them.
Give me an insight check.
That's a good question.
15.
15. You get the sense that they don't look like they're recovering from a spell. They don't look confused, so or sorry, oh my god, what am I doing here? Where am I? It's more of a, it's like they pounded back a Red Bull and then they're just hitting that crash sort of thing. They just have no their enthusiasm for being caught up. You think basically you get the sense they were caught up in the riot, in the mob.
Makes
and they
sense.
were coming down here and they're also angry because somebody else was telling them things that they wanted to hear. And then they're getting all righteous fury going up and picking up rocks and, yeah, we're going to do something about this right now. And then some woman comes along and says a bunch of stuff that kind of makes sense. And yeah, she's kind of right. And then the whole thing just kind of awash with the whole, well, I guess, and they're kind of defeated.
Cool. All right, so I'll get up in here, and for my action, I'll just like to start helping people who are on the ground, like stand up and get up. That's all I'm doing.
Cool. So you start doing that, start knocking or moving people, and people start sort of shuffling along, and the guards are basically moving into the center and sort of trying to disperse the larger piles of unconscious people and everything else. And just going to check, calm emotions is one action, 60 feet, concentration. So it's basically a bubble. Because you keep it,
Right.
Doesn't effect causing a target, but you cast it on creatures though. So it's not continuous zone, like a zone of truth.
Right. It's the cast, like I can only cast within that zone, and then once it's cast, it's cast.
Right.
Is my understanding of this stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so anybody who wakes up may or may not be angry. Where were we? Sorry. It was an Malik.
That's me. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna move up with. I'm gonna go with Zanel to
Cool.
like just grabbing people and like by the scruff and like picking them up, making sure they're awake and they can stand, and then letting them go, and then like moving on to the next two.
Okay. The two of you both give me
Strength
persuasion checks.
Oh man.
Who?
Persuasion. You and Zanel and Malik. Persuasion checks.
Ooh, this is gonna suck.
Okay. Persuasion.
It wasn't so bad. It was
14.
15.
Hey.
Nice. Not
Hey.
bad. Okay. Generally, the people that you get up onto their feet seem to, they seem disinterested in continuing to riot based on either the fact that they were just had the wind knocked out of their sails because of a calm emotion spell, or put to sleep, or and just waking up and sort of just mystically groggy. And generally there's a lot of confusion, and they're just happy to comply with, oh, okay, I'm just gonna leave then. I don't even know why I'm here. Stupid idea anyway, sort of thing. And you get various mumbling of something. The Tornesco are rich, but I don't even know why this guy was just. They're generally not opposed to leaving, if that makes any sense. So they generally just start shuffling their way down the path or down the alley.
Gotta get this Red Bull recipe because it it fires
No.
people up, but at the same time, like when you crash, like you really crash.
And is that your action?
Yeah, they're just picking people up.
So you're gonna just keep moving people, and people just starting to shuffle along. Dr. Rosenthal
Does it?
can knock more people out.
Well, I actually thought about it. That's why I kept asking you. Are we in initiative still?
You are still in
we
initiative.
Initiative still. I got another sleep I can drop. Does it look? Am I perceiving that they're like going away? That this is calming down.
Most people seem to be. Some people are still sort of confused. They look more confused, angry, than they are down with the system angry. They're not sure why they're here, or they are sure why they're here, but they're not sure what has happened to them, because they just had like this trifecta of charming oration plus sleep spell plus calm emotions, and a bunch of people fell unconscious, and they're not sure what's going on really. So they're just sort of
They were down
complying,
with the
but
system.
begrudgingly.
Now they're down
Most
with
people
the
are
sickness.
complying. Some are complying begrudgingly.
And what are the guards standing right next to me doing?
They're continuing on. Oh, these guys? Yeah, they're basically
Are they,
telling
like,
you to move
holding-
along.
Are they holding me at gunpoint or something? Or not gunpoint?
No, no,
sword,
no.
Sword point?
No. They're basically, move along, citizen, back to your home.
But what if my home is that way and I point behind them?
So, up the hallway or up the alley?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's where we came from.
Nope, you came from back behind you here, down here in the south. Then wait here and let the crowd disperse.
Okay.
Actually, give me a persuasion check.
Okay. It's a 4. I might need
Find
to get
another
a new
way.
set. I might need to get a new.
Move along, find another way.
Okay.
There are plenty of streets. Pick one.
I just can't go that way.
No, can't go that way. It's a bunch of people there. Let us clear the crowd, and by then you should be gone. Move along.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna argue with him, but I'm gonna throw my hood up over my head. I'm gonna walk past him, whichever direction he's not looking.
Sure.
I guess. I'm gonna throw my hood up and act like I'm walking away.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
Nice. Okay. So you basically just kind of no, walk away, poof.
Yep.
Alrighty. These are terribly small little icons. There.
Why is this conversation happening in
And
our chat?
that's your action?
That is my action. Did anybody see me?
No. Not that you know.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna hang back, away from the group and kind of just watch and be invisible.
Okay. And the guards continue on their way, waking people up, moving people out. Move along. Move along. Back to your homes. And people start dispersing gradually, begrudgingly, mumblingly. The guards start moving in. The guards get to you, Malik. Looks up
Hi.
at you, looks at your maul.
Hi.
Oh no.
Sir?
Yes.
No way.
You're muted.
Am I muted? Am I muted now?
Mm.
You're so muted.
What the hell?
Very, very quiet. What happened?
Muted on
It's
Zoom.
because
Yeah, muted on Zoom. That's weird. Okay. Yeah,
Don't
Malik is
type.
like, yes.
Your weapon, please.
I don't even know if he can lift it.
Try me.
All right, he puts it down, like, head up, and he, like, leans it on him.
He picks it up with a little bit of effort. And he sort of throws it over. It's kind of like that 7-year-old kid with a 15-pound sledgehammer on his shoulder sort of thing. He's just sort of like kind of auto corrects himself sort of thing, as he's kind of like it's counterbalancing him far too severely. All right, move along.
Do you need help?
Nope, I'm fine, thank you.
I can carry it.
Move along.
It's fine. I can actually wield it one-handed. Can you?
I said
just
move
gonna
along.
Get yourself in trouble.
All right, let's move along.
Oh no.
Yeah, which are these the guys that are coming up from this side, from the
These guys.
south?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just kind of usher Zanel and Izamina, like, just be like, all right, it's time to go.
And say guards. Delphia.
Yeah. Do we really need to be in initiative anymore? I mean, we're kind
Not
of all
really.
clearing out.
If
Yeah,
you
we're
can all
just-
have basically one more action before
Well-
essentially the crowd disperses.
Yeah, no, I help crowd members up to their feet, and I keep an eye on the guards too. If they look like they're about to get violent with anyone, I'm going to try to step in. But
I mean, they handle the crowd with brusqueness.
Yeah.
But none of them pull their. I mean, they all once they're dealing with crowds and stuff, and they're picking people up. They've sheathed their short swords, sort of thing, and
Okay.
they've kind of slung their shields on their back, and they're just trying to help people up if they're like lying in the street prostrate or whatever.
Great.
Generally,
So
most people disperse, except for the fella that's held.
yeah, well, he kind of
All these people.
did that to himself. So yeah, I just help pick people up. We all kind of want the same thing here now.
I'll leave the old lady there. It's a reminder of your shame, Marcos.
Well, hang on, give me a second.
All right, so you have some people milling about. Oops, he's not there. And you have some guards basically sort of keeping watch down the alleys and sort of walking people away, making sure they all leave and go their separate directions. And there's a couple of guards remaining. One has a bunch of weapons, a maul, a short sword that's recognizable, and a spear. Leans them all up against this building over here. One comes to Izamina. What is your place here? Move along.
Ah, excellent. The local constabulary. Fantastic. We are investigating the murder of Lucia. Thank you for coming to my assistance. It's about time that somebody from your organization did. We are going to require a room to set up our investigation. and some support from some of your members for a stakeout. Do I talk to you or somebody in charge?
Do you work for the magistrate?
I work for the Amber Confession. The magistrate will work for me when I'm in town.
You work for the Amber Confession.
I'll show him my pen, point to my very obvious fucking tabard with the story in it.
And this sort of strokes your ego in a way that you had not experienced before. This man has an instantaneous recognition of this holy symbol. He's like, oh, I am so sorry.
It's okay. As I said, we do need some support. So are you the person in charge here? Or do you have a captain on watch? Who do I speak to?
The captain's on it in a different location, but I'm generally I'm responsible for this group. We were just sent to help quell the unrest, which seems to be caused by a number of ne'er-do-wells here. And he nods at the guy who's basically just starting to come out of the whole person.
Well, yes, they do have some legitimate grievances that the magistrate should look into at some point, but that's not the reason I'm here. Lucia has been murdered, sadly, yes. And we believe we have some evidence, and I'd like to do some more investigation. What was your name?
Oh man, you're gonna make me come up with a name for a random guard guy?
Yes.
And while you're looking at that, I'm gonna be like pointing and snapping to the other guards and be like, come here, I need a perimeter set up. The tiefling there will give you some orders and some commands to help set up the structures that we're looking for. And I'm just gonna start like being bossy in general. And I can be more specific if you need more time.
And give me back my mom.
And these people travel with me. They work with me to investigate things. We've just done some amazing work down in Olala. So they will need their weapons back to continue to support me in my duties here. We're looking for...
Where?
Orlane.
Oh, Orlane. Yeah, yes. That's
yeah, do you not
little town down the road. Yeah.
It's fine. We're looking for Torani, butterscotch Torani. I'm not sure. What Toronto? Tofino.
Tirana.
What's his name? Tirana.
Tirana. Yes.
Yes, and somebody with long red hair, slightly different than mine, a little bit darker, probably a man by the shape and smell of this mask. Any ideas? Sorry, your name was? I should wait until you tell me.
I'm having trouble finding a decent name. These are all terrible.
This random NPC's name brought to you by namegenerator.net. When you're having trouble in D&D looking up a name, use namegenerator.net.
My favorite is the like thug one or whatever. It comes up with the best names. Like just outrageous.
We'll call him Belden.
Belden. Yeah, I'll screw that up for next week. Belden. Yes. Thank you, sir, for your immediate support. I will make sure the captain hears about your leadership here, and for supporting to make sure that nobody was hurt. I will. Shall I follow you to where we can go and set up a space?
And at that point, absolutely, yes, ma'am, it's our pleasure to work with you. And just at that point,
yes, it is.
This other guy, it's like, You can't do this. The Tornescu must pay for what they've done. There are pox on this community. And he just starts yelling and ranting and fuming and like spit coming out of his mouth when he yells. Just like completely unhinged, and you can like one eye just like bloodshot angry. As if he'd been storing up for the next 10 rounds all of his vitriol, and he just sort of lets it out and like, you can't just dogs to the rich.
Can I do an insight check? Does he really believe what he's saying, or he just saying the things he knows?
Give me an insight check.
Oh,
I do one as well.
He got the bad batch of Red Bull.
Got the bad badge.
9.
I mean, he sounds legit.
Hey, I rolled higher than that, but I actually rolled a 1. But with my plus 10, it was 11.
No, he sounds legit. Your passive insight, yeah, you've heard this kind of thing all the time. This guy believes his own press. So whether or not it's actually true, who knows?
Sir.
He believes it, and he's angry about it.
Sir, my name is Isamina Lascelle.
I don't care what your name is.
Sir.
You work for the Tornescu.
Absolutely not.
That's a lie.
Marcos, our friend needs some recalibration.
Some
Recalibration?
I'm going to. Marcos will make his way over, pausing just long enough to kneel by the old woman that he bonked. Place a hand on her forehead and just Hail Mary. It's probably not going to do anything. I'm going to give her my last 5 points of lay on hands.
You killed her?
You didn't kill her. She was knocked unconscious.
I'm going to heal her for 5 points.
She wakes up.
I don't think my pen can save us from you killing old women.
Ma'am, ma'am, you've had a terrible night. I think you really need to go home.
You caused a terrible
Who
night.
are you? Why?
I'm just going to look at a guard and
Tornescu, kill her.
Signal a guard to come over. Can you make sure this woman makes it home safely? I think she's fallen and hit her head.
All right,
of course,
ma'am,
the excitement.
let's go. And he helps her to her feet. Tornescu. Oh.
And I'm gonna keep walking towards the guy who I assume is being held by this point by the guards.
Yeah, they're kind of restraining him.
And as I walk towards him, I've heard we need a little recalibrating. I'm assuming she doesn't mean beat him up in front of the guards. So I'm just going to casually start humming and muttering to myself. Like little nonsense things, bits of child rhymes, but using it to trigger three levels of thaumaturgy. The ground, to make the ground shake around me, like a low-key tremble as I walk. Whispers that are denouncing liars and those who manipulate the innocent.
Love it.
Saying that in both common and infernal and celestial. So every language I know. And finally, to start turning my eyes from white to black.
Love it.
Okay.
Good call. Good call.
And I'm just gonna come up to him and say in my calmest, quietest voice, friend, I think we've all had a very long night. Why don't you pack it in?
Yeah.
And get some rest.
Love it.
Make a persuasion check.
With
I wonder if that should be
advantage for all that shit, right?
I wonder if that should be intimidation, though.
I feel like I'm nicely intimidating him, but I've stacked it like
Nicely
I'm to be as
intimidating.
That's way
intimidatingly.
to explain it.
You've got this guy who's making the ground shake.
That
Has
quiet menace.
spectral
Yeah, it's an
whispers.
intimidation check. Give me an intimidation check.
Can I make it
Gentle
with advantage?
intimidation.
Because of the circumstances.
I believe
They are
Captain
only
Kirk referred
cantrips.
to it as cowboy diplomacy.
That's a 9.
But yeah, you know what? You set up the scene. You gave it a number of different effects. Yeah, give me an advantage. Give me another roll.
Crit.
Come on, Marcos.
vision.
12.
12 is better than 9. He doesn't like you. He's
Don't
not.
need him to like
he's
me.
not. And what are you saying to him?
I'm saying we've all had a long night, friend. Why don't you give it a rest?
And he sort of shuttles away. I was like, "Get away from me!" And he sort of like rests his arm away from the one guard, and the guard isn't quite sure whether or not he should go to his sword or sort of just reaches back out for him and just waits from his thing, pulls away from the other guard and starts running off down the path.
As soon as he starts running, I would like. Oh wait, no, I can't because I've used all my second level spell slots.
Because you don't have your spear to throw at him. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, you know what I do have? I have a belt knife. I want to throw my belt knife at his leg.
You want to throw your what?
I have a belt knife. I want to chuck it at his leg.
And you were doing so well.
This hurts me.
Another person dead in the streets.
Not in front of the.
You were doing so well too. Okay.
Not in front
Roll
of the
the hit.
town yards.
Wait, I'm trying to see. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Dagger. No, that's a 8.
An 8 does miss. So the guard next to you is not all that impressed that you just pulled a dagger out of nowhere and lobbed it at this guy. And literally says to you, "You're lucky that missed."
He's not with me.
Danelle's picking up bottles from the ground
I'm
because
just gonna
littering
look
is
at-
not good.
And look at the guards who were holding him. Look after the man who's running away. Look back and just dropping thaumaturgy. Say in my most confused, perplexed voice, "Is that what passes for arresting people?" Because I'm really not impressed. I don't think she is either, and I'm gonna jerk a thumb at Isabina.
I was so close to getting my sword back.
The magistrate will sort this all out. Don't worry.
I suggest, and he turns to Isabina, that you take your companions here, find the magistrate, and get to the bottom of this nonsense, so we don't have any more riots in this street. As for you, and he points to you, Marcos, it's none of your concern how we run our business here in the city.
Actually, since I am here directly assisting a member of the Amber Confession,
Are you a member of the Amber Confession?
I'm her entourage.
Then you're allowed.
I think that makes it my business, because if you guys aren't very good at your
It makes it her
jobs-
business. What she shares with you is the privilege of the Amber Confession.
Well, if you guys can't even arrest the instigator of a riot when I hand him to you, how can I trust you to help
What had he done that was a
say
crime?
instigate
is-
the riot?
Did he though?
Yes. He was.
Because there were a number of
quite
individuals
loudly
here.
yelling when we got here.
There were, by my count, at least 6 individuals that were yelling and screaming about the inequality, including yourselves, actually. You did mention things of that nature as well. And
I'll point out she did. I didn't.
it doesn't
but,
matter who did. The point
frankly,
is, a number of
Isabina-
individuals did it. And
Would you like to
when it
step
comes
in?
to, they have all been sent away.
Yes.
No harm has been done.
Valid.
Why don't you ask the guard who got beamed in the head by a
You'll be
thrown
fine.
bottle?
Yeah, I'm bleeding in front of this dude. This is where I picture Malik being totally like Sam and being like, he's out of line, but he's right. Like, this is 100%. I'm totally bleeding, and this dude's now giving me guff, and I'm not really having it.
Yeah, Marcos is just waiting for Zamina to step in because he knows she's got to be simmering at this point.
I'm gonna put up my hand actually to Marcos, like just okay. Trust me, I got this. Slow your roll, cowboy. And I'm just gonna put up my hand. I'm gonna say, I would hate for my associates to get anybody onto the wrong foot here because you were doing so well and I was looking forward to speaking to your captain. We will be going to start our investigation. Building, it was so nice to meet you. And I will hope that your group here is as useful to me in the coming days. I look forward to working with you again. And I'm just gonna like keep my eyes and like nod to Malik, like go ahead, grab your mace. And I'm just gonna watch as my party grabs their weapons and we'll make our way out of the alley.
Anyone actually moving to grab the weapons?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Malik, grab mine too.
You move over to it, and as soon as you start reaching, he says, leave those there.
Yeah, no.
You can retrieve them from the magistrate.
I don't think you understand.
Being an Amber
who she
confession
is.
does not mean you're immune to the laws of this town.
That's fair. That's fair.
It is. Yep. You already said you'd pick it up from the magistrate, Marcos, so.
Is it, can I do an insight check? Is this guy just being a jerk?
Is he being a dick or is he being a hard ass?
Is he being a jerk because he's upset with Marcos, or is he legitimately like?
Yeah, I mean your passive is 20. You're picking up the most of what this guy is. You had him almost completely on side. He was wowed. What you picked up, he was wowed by the fact that he's looking at somebody who's basically a wonder cop, essentially, like a traveling Matlock from town to town, or Angela Lansbury, whatever. Pick a random crime solver, and he's like, "Wow, cool! I get to work with a celebrity," kind of thing. And then the dagger came out, and he's like, "No, wait a minute, hold on. There's still laws being broken right in front of me, by the Amber Confessions friends." He's like, no, you know what? No, it's my job. This is my job. I got to stick to this thing. I confiscated the weapons.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep them confiscated.
Keep
mine.
More of a
All the letter of the law. I am the law.
Keep mine. I'll pick it up later. That's
fair. We'll go straight to the magistrate. Please do have whoever you have in charge of those weapons beating us there, because that's where I'm going first.
They'll get there when they get there.
Belden, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And I'm going to turn around and walk away with my snace across my back.
Ma'am?
I'm going to start following her, but I'm going to pause and give him a look.
Ma'am?
I wouldn't.
We're all going.
No, I'm walking.
Oh,
if he wants to stop me, he's going to have to stop me. He's going to have to lay hands on me.
He comes up, ma'am. I'm going to have to ask you to surrender that.
I get out of there.
Malik is just glaring at them.
I do completely understand that when you walked in, you saw weapons being used to keep the peace. Mine was never drawn. I am in no violation of the law.
You are.
Would you like to come with me?
First place.
To the magistrate. Would you like to come with me to the magistrate? Because you are not taking this off my body.
Fine. Bring those weapons. He says to his friend, the other guards. The other guards move over and grab the other weapons. Then let us take this to the magistrate.
Excellent idea, Belden. I can tell we're going to work
Killing his
very well
buzz.
together.
You're just killing his buzz. He's like,
Oh,
never
and
meet a
Belden-
celebrity, right? Never. That's the lesson he's getting from this. Never meet a celebrity.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh,
not.
Belden, you heard the
Marcus,
Professor.
don't
I'm
make
going
this
to
work.
need some of your men to meet with me so I can brief them on where they'll be surveilling.
Man, just stir the pot.
Perhaps we can do that at the magistrate's office, shall we?
Marcos is
Yes.
he's looking at Belden. I am at this point not gonna lie, Marcos is a little pissed off and probably trying a little bit to provoke.
Really?
piss him
Really?
off.
Trying
Really?
a little bit? Yeah.
No.
Didn't
Going a
see
little
that
bit
one
there.
coming literally at all.
I will use a second level spell to calm emotions on Marcos and Belden.
Are you using a spell?
I am.
I want to wrap this up.
I want to calm emotions and I want us to go to the magistrates and then I'm done for tonight. For today, actually, because it's 1 a.m.
Hi, it's almost breakfast.
Well, a natural 19 beats your 15, so that's not happening here.
Okay, Marcos, charisma check.
Christmas saving throw.
Saving throw. That's 21.
Nice.
Son of a bitch.
I have a +6 to.
He's got a
Charisma.
charisma as his stat. He's
Yeah.
not going down with a charisma saving throw. And please don't do that again.
Nope,
I'm
that
putting
is
space
next
between
initiative.
us. Like I'm behind
It's
the
like, you
guards,
know,
behind
I was gonna follow my sword and get it there, and
That's
just
it.
take my sword when I'm done.
I
Fine.
don't.
I
Not even trying to be
I'm
associated.
here for the
with
I'm
what's
here for the
going on in
meats and the
front.
pasta. It's fine.
Mhm.
And the lobster. I hear the lobster's good. I don't know.
We have
The
lobster.
garlic butter.
Right. So, and we're gonna end it there with the guards escorting.
Can I do something real quick?
You absolutely can.
Okay, it'll be really fast. So I'm still invisible, by the way.
Yes.
And does Delphia actually come towards where my token is? Okay, so you're walking the opposite direction. Okay, great. I'm gonna grab your hand and whisper in your ear, be like, don't freak out, it's just me. I'm just invisible. Okay, calm down. We're good. Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna turn to Rowena on my shoulder. And I'm gonna ask her in Sylvan if she'll go with the others and just let them know that Delphia and I are gonna go talk to my uncle, and that she can come. She'll know to come find me when she's let them know. But to just go watch over them because they might need a little extra, and that we're gonna go warn him of the nonsense. As long as she's willing to do it.
And she says, "Okay." And you feel, actually, yeah, because you Delphia can't see anything, so you just heard Rosenthal just ask his shoulder or out into the thing. Actually, you know what? He doesn't see. Delphia doesn't see you, so you're asking, would you go and follow the others? So I and Delphia can go talk to my uncle. Is what Delphia heard.
Yes, that is what she heard.
So which one are you doing, Delphia? Are you going to follow the others? Or are you going to go with?
I've got Rosenthal's hand, and so whatever direction Rosenthal goes.
Okay,
in,
so you're
Delphia
just
will
kind of
follow.
following along. Okay.
Yes.
So
Invisibly just holding nothing.
Rowena, you feel basically you hear the little sing-song, brief little quiet speech in Sylvan. You feel a peck on the cheek, and she bites the top of your ear and flies off your shoulder. to wherever you think. Maybe.
Hopefully she
And-
goes and does what I want her to, but she is a fae, and so
I
she
mean,
decides.
She might just send another alligator at you again. What? Sorry.
That's true. Anyway,
Spoiler from previous season. And that, I think, is a good point where we can cut it off with the two of you wandering off to a family liaison with the Torrescu family and talk business, and the rest of the party being escorted to the magistrate.
Everything's fine.
Everything is working swimmingly.
Everything's fine.
This is all
Everything
going
is
according to
fine.
plan. This is how
Nothing
we
bad
find
could
out
possibly happen.
I
This
would
is how we
love,
find out the magistrate is actually the murderer.
yeah, I would love for Rowena to like play a joke and just like set off like chickens or something inside the magistrate's office or something. Like that, I would just.
Stop giving him ideas.
Oh, he could come up with way worse than chickens.
I mean, who do you think sent that alligator against you in the dungeon? What? Oh, spoiler. Sorry. Okay. So let's cut it off here. So thank you one and all for joining us. It has been a pleasure once again. Let's go through a quick little, hey, how you doing? Here's what I'm doing. From our cast of amazing players. Let's start with Jacqueline.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline, she, her. I played our great human wizard warlock, Dr. Rosenthal, he, him. You can find me on Twitter at It's Trindervita7, on Twitch at It's Kakelia, and hopefully you'll come and watch our 24-hour charity stream. I will be DMing a one-shot starting at 3 p.m. or 12 p.m. PST. It'll be 3 p.m. for me. Yeah, so come join us for that, November 27th.
I'll be Batman.
I'll be Batman. I won't, but he will.
And Zev.
Hey everyone, I'm Zev. Play Marcos Lasalle, not the homicidal maniac the rest of the cast is portraying me as. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Bukari Gaming. Still no idea when exactly I'll be getting back to content because grad school is hard. Yeah, that's me.
Very cool. And Jazz.
I'm Jazz, she, her. Played the human monk Zanelle, who's also she, her. You can catch me on Twitter at Zulmain with 2 E's, doing absolutely nothing.
Belcher.
I am Belcher. I played Delphia tonight. We're both she, her. And I hope you come join us November 27th to the 28th for our 24-hour charity stream. See you there.
Holy crap. Daystream Sandwich, thanks for the raid, but we're just wrapping up.
Hey.
Sandwich,
Wow.
thanks.
Holy.
Oh, we're just saying goodnight.
Oh man.
We have to play for another 3 hours then. It's fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm fine.
Sounds fair.
I like this.
Sounds
We're
fair.
good. We're good.
Yeah, let's go.
Zev's like, I already been up 24 hours. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Actually,
done.
that's exactly
Okay.
what's
Whatever
going
happened,
through my head.
whatever.
I'm like, I okay, cool.
We want. I mean, I'm game if anybody wants to keep going. Anyway.
Let's sleep. I don't need sleep.
And Sarah.
I do. I need sleep. Sarah needs sleep. Sarah has to be at work in 6 hours. I am Sarah. I've been playing Izamina Lasal, the Order Cleric, and fantastic disturber and calmer of the peace. And you can catch me here Tuesday nights playing the cleric. You can catch me on Sundays DMing at 2 p.m. Pacific for Mike and for 4 other amazing players in the Phandalin by Night campaign, which is a Lost Mines of Phandelver diet campaign. And you can also catch me kicking off the charity stream on Saturday, November 27th at 9 a.m. Pacific running a one-shot for some of our players here tonight and their dad, spouse. And yeah, I'm super, super excited for that. So come check us out.
Cool. And Steve.
That's me. I am Steve. Generally, I'm the storyteller around these parts, but I am producer, I guess, extraordinaire, whatever you want to call me. We do a regular Vampire Saturday Takeover where we start off at 11 a.m. PST over on the Martlet Games channel, and they raid into us. Wait, they raid into Level Up at noon for the Vancouver Adjacent by night. And then we raid into us for the Vancouver by night Delve into Darkness. And then after that, we head over to Rolling D's 20s for some Philly by night. And there's a bunch of vampire stuff after that, I believe, that they raid into a bunch of other people. So yeah, we have the charity stream coming up. If I hit $500 on the link I just posted before we get to that, my next character will be a bard. I will go full guy liner with it, singing like 80s hair metal ballads.
Or 1500.
No.
Joe.
Quiet, you. That is Joe. She's also helping produce the 24-hour stream on the 27th. And his name will be Jonathan Bonaparte Yovi. It's true.
I love it.
So yeah, show up for
Yeah.
that. We've got
100%.
the Wednesday Changeling game tomorrow. We're re-airing the Halloween episode. Friday we've got the Skin Deep. It's the Q&A with the cast and the storyteller. And then we're back here on Saturday for the takeover, and then Sunday the D&D with Sarah and Mike and all that amazing cast. So yeah, check us out.
Very cool. And I have been your humble yet arrogant storyteller for this group of would-be heroes. You can catch my pre and post COVID cosplay adventures at Canadian Captain America on Instagram and TikTok, and CDN Captain America on Twitter, where I mainly just sit and rant about D&D stuff. Speaking of D&D, you can catch me, as Sarah said, on Sundays at 2 p.m. PST with an amazing group of players and Sarah, the Dungeon Master, for a Phandalin by Night game of 5th edition D&D. And tonight, on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. PST, I'm running this group of would-be heroes through a Greyhawk campaign. You can catch me as part of the Saturday Vampire Takeover on Saturdays at 3 p.m. PST in a Vampire 5th edition game run by Steve, the storyteller. And I'm currently I will be guesting next week, I guess, for a couple more games in the Changeling game on Wednesdays. That's about it for me for now. Where are we raiding into? Yeah, definitely. You guys come by. Catch us next week when the group finds out why they're under arrest. I mean, working with the magistrate, and find out more shenanigans and possibly more information about Dr. Rosenthal's mafia family.
Ooh.
The mobster,
Yeah, we're gonna go
lobster
drink
monsters.
mimosas.
The
You
lobster
guys have fun with
mobsters.
The magistrate.
The Clobsters.
Clobsters.
Give them the clamps. We are going to be raiding to Art Heart Studios.
A little bit of weed and D.
A little bit of D. And one quick thing before we go. You were going to say something, Belle? Maybe?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay. One quick thing before we go. We do have a brand new, as of literally tonight, thing on our thread list, which was designed by Jacqueline, who I believe is over there if I'm pointing in the right direction. Which is a shirt / button / whatever you want to make it. It is a piece of merch that says following us is free action, which it is. So we are going to pass that love on to Weed and D and Art Heart Studios, and following them is also free action. So spread the love, everybody.
Hey.
And we are going to go over there right now. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye.
And...